Yo, what it do, baby? It's your boy Orion, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Chafino, what it do, my guy? So I had some issues with trying to get it streamed up, but I wanted to make sure that I came on. Uh, Damon P. Aqua Dio. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Obviously, I wanted to get in here about 30 minutes ago, but I wanted to go in this list because Kurt Warner put out a top 10 list. I did not agree with Kurt Warner's number one list, so I figured that I would do my own, and we'll go over the list in what I feel is a top 10 quarterback going into the season. I got some sleepers, right? I got some honorable mentions depending on how they play, and I got my Big Ten, going into the season. But I'll actually just try to respond to everyone. Chafino, hey. Javon Wright, what it do, my guy? Damon, what it do? Cooper, what is good? Tyler Hetzel, Wentz, a top 3 quarterback. We'll see where I have him in my list. Let's see here. Most wanted 28. Nate Peterman for all the spots, 1 through 10. Yeah, definitely. Elliot Evans, what up? I better be on the list. Jordan Rodriguez, what's up, man? I'm a new sub and a Bucks fan. I love your streams. Awesome, Jordan. There's not many of us. We got to stick together. That's awesome. Congratulations on being a fan like myself with the Bucks. It's tough. I've been a fan since 95, so I feel your pain. But this could be the year that we turn it around, and I'm excited to get a new sub, especially if it's someone that's a Bucks fan. I don't know if you've heard about us or just found us on the streams. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. But you're going to get the best hot takes. You're not going to get any bias. I'm going to tell you how it is. And Wade, what up, my guy? Michael Lawler, what it do? Colton Price, Deshaun Watson, top 10 quarterback, or we riot. I'll let you know what I think. Cam the scam. If Cam is on here, I'm pulling. Oh, hey, get next rated here, Cam. So I'm going to go over some of my sleepers here first. So this is the criteria, all right? And this is kind of similar to what Kurt Warner had. So top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2019 season, all right? And it's my favorite top 10 quarterbacks that play in big moments, okay, that are great decision makers and do what it takes to win. And that's not saying something like Tom Brady and Belichick with the Spygate, do whatever it takes to win. I'm talking about, getting those big third downs, sacrificing their bodies for QB sneaks, or, just reaching over the goal line, knowing they're going to get blasted by a linebacker, doing what it takes to win for their team. Orion, if Daniel Jones isn't on the list, woo, nothing more exciting than seeing a notification pop up from this channel. 6 Inc. What it do, my guy? So let's go over some sleepers. All right, these guys are more than likely not going to be top 10 quarterbacks, right? Jameis, number 1. No. Jameis is not number 1. It would be awesome if he can improve, but I'm ready to move on. I did a couple videos earlier today. I did, Tua yesterday, right? Tagovailoa, which I love. We did Trevor Lawrence today, which is going to be a freak of nature when he goes in the NFL. And then my boy with the jersey on right here, Jordan, Air Jordan, Justin Herbert. Okay, we'll see how good he is. He's probably going to be third best out of those 3 guys. But, I can always hope, But let's go over my sleepers. So based off injury, right, this guy could be a top 10 quarterback if he didn't get injured last year. San Francisco 49er fans love him, and we'll have to see how that knee is, after an ACL, MCL, or PCL tear or sprain. Quarterbacks are normally not the same that next year. Usually they have to go in 1 year, and then the following year, that's when you get to see how great this player is. My sleeper, Jimmy Garoppolo. So we don't know how great Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be, but San Francisco's kind of on the up and up. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are drafting well. I feel that this team is going to push Seattle. I'm not sure if they can get second place in the NFC West this year, but don't be surprised if they get really close. I think that the progression of Kittle, the defense, and the way that Kyle Shanahan coaches, anything is possible. Jimmy Garoppolo, to me, if he didn't get hurt, he probably would be on my top 10 list towards kind of the back end of the list, but I love him. Another sleeper. This guy's a lot kind of inconsistent, right? Their team underachieved last year. This guy could make a big step in his career if he can have Dalvin Cook healthy for a full season, no issues of drama on the defense, and they could end up going 11-5 this season in the NFC North and winning it. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Kirk Cousins. No one really expects anything from Kirk Cousins. A lot of his stats are inflated, kind of like Russell Westbrook. It's towards the end of the game. You know what I mean? He needs a couple more extra rebounds, extra assists, sometimes in garbage time. Sometimes I feel Kirk Cousins gets extra stats in garbage time. So he'll be at like 180 yards. There'll be maybe 8 minutes left in the fourth. They're down by 20. He's just airing it out. And so at the end of the day, he'll end up with like 280 yards, maybe 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. And it looked like he had maybe a better day than he really did in those first 3 quarters. He's a guy then the NFC North, right, over the Bears, Packers, and Lions, and take his game to the next level. He is a disciplined kind of guy. He takes a lot of time to work with his receivers and tight ends. We'll have to see if him and Kyle Rudolph can have that chemistry. So we'll see how he looks moving forward. So those are my 2 sleepers. All right, now let's get into the cream of the crop, the honorable mentions. So my first honorable mention is going to have a crappy O-line, arguably the crappiest O-line in the NFL. They tried to draft O-line. I don't know if they got the right guys. Like I said, they have Hopkins, right? Will Fuller. They got J.J. Watt on defense. This quarterback is making strides. He might end up being a top 7 fantasy quarterback, but I think that he still has a little ways to go. I do like the improvement that I saw from him with Deshaun Watson. All right, he's got DeAndre Hopkins, the number 1 receiver in the NFL. So I got to see a little bit more. Obviously, if they had a solid number 1 running back, a better O-line, I would feel better about him instead of him running for his life every time he takes a snap. Could they go 11-5 and win the division? Yes. Could the Colts overtake them and they get the wild card at 10-6 this year? Yes, but I do like where Deshaun Watson's career is going. He's the best thing since sliced bread in Texans uniform in Texas, not named J.J. Watt. I like Deshaun Watson. Like I said, he is an up-and-coming quarterback. Not top 10 just yet, but he is getting there. Some of these old vets are going to be retiring pretty soon, so he'll be able to move up the list. Now, this name right here, I have my last, I got 2. So my other honorable mention that I have, you may think that he deserves to be higher, but I have concerns about his shoulder. If that doesn't already give it away, like I said, I think that Curtis Samuel has broken out in camp. DJ Moore is breaking out. I love Luke Kuechly. I like a lot of the pieces that they have with Gerald McCoy being added on to the team as well. But as far as, besides Run CMC, right, he's going to be dominant. He's going to be one of the top 2 picks in fantasy. This shoulder is concerning to me. If he had no shoulder issues whatsoever, more than likely he would be in my top 10. I'm talking about Cam Superman Newton. All right. If the shoulder was okay, more than likely top 10. Since it's not, I'm kind of concerned because it's one of those things you could go 7-9, 8-8 with the shoulder, or if he is okay and his throwing motion is better, then he could maybe go 10-6 and 11-5. But if you watched in camp, I'm not really sold on his shoulder just yet, but I think that he has a chance to creep up on the list, but we'll have to see. No one has them right away, a playoff team. People are hoping, right, Cam the Scam, Javon Wright, a few of these other people that are in the room, they want him to be healthy. I'm a Bucs fan, and I want him to be healthy because when he's healthy, the league is better. So we'll see if he can prove people wrong and he can get 100%. And then the wins will reflect his throwing motion and the touchdowns to interception ratio. We'll see. Cam Newton. And then my other one that I have is arguably the best beer drinker in the NFL. He went to the Indians game yesterday with a Lindor jersey. They put the camera on him. He cracked a beer open with his mouth, okay? Bit into it like an animal, like Ozzy Osbourne, biting a bat's head off at a concert in the 1980s. This guy, I feel, is going to take the next level. I was this close putting him in my top 10. If you watch his tape, he's getting better and better. They got Odell Beckham Jr. Their chemistry is real. All right, he's signing autographs on license plates now, so you know it's a real deal, right? Jarvis Landry has always been good. He's going to be solid. David Njoku's going to be better. Nick Chubb is going to break out at running back. I love the defense. Myles Garrett, he's got the Super Saiyan Goku mask for his shield on his visor now. Everything is going right in Cleveland. I don't think that they're paper champions. They are sexy on paper. I think they're going to make the playoffs this season. I love his progression. Baker Mayfield. It's close. This year will be his breakout season. He is going to play better than some of the vets that are in the NFL. I really like Baker Mayfield going forward. Like I said, he's got the swag. He's got the leadership. People believe in him. And you got a lot of weapons around him. The only question mark that you have for Baker Mayfield is Coach Kitchens. You know, is he a OC pretending to be a head coach? Can he handle the pressure? Can he handle the times where they go 0-3, or if they end up going on a 2 or 3 game losing streak? Odell's yelling at him, Landry's yelling at him, Baker's upset. You know, are they going to have a Hugh Jackson where they just give him the Reggie Roby and punt his ass out of there? We'll have to wait and see, but I do like Baker Mayfield creeping into the top 10 quarterbacks going into not only this season, but next season. He's one of my favorite already. All right, moving forward. Now this is where it gets interesting. My top 10, okay? Sleepers, again, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, all right? Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton, my honorable mentions, very, very close. Now, I had to cheat a little bit. I had to put 2 guys in my top 10 just because I feel that they're going to have a similar stat line. We'll have to see. One team is with an injury in their star running back, and the other one had injuries at their star running back, plus a lot of guys on defense. Number 10, I have 2 guys that I feel that they play in big moments. They have great decision making, and bottom line, they're winners. Who am I talking about? Number 1 in my top 10, right? So I have 10 1A and 10 1B. 1A is Matt Ryan, Matty Ice. I like what he did last season. He quietly had an MVP season last year, but, you know, Devontae Freeman got hurt, all went to hell. Then all of a sudden you had Deion Jones get hurt, all went to hell. Then you had Keanu O'Neal in the back end, all went to hell. So if you don't have your star guys out there, you know, Julio needs to step up, right? Calvin Ridley had an amazing rookie season. I think that he's going to be able to do that as well. But I think Matt Ryan, for the moment, with all their guys healthy, have a little bit of an advantage on Cam Newton and the Panthers, just because I think with the health, there isn't really any health concerns at this point with Matty Ice and Matt Ryan. And my 10B, right? 1A, 1B, 10A, 10B. My second place choice for number 10 spot is Jared Goff and the Goffense. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, he should be higher, or maybe he shouldn't even be on the list, and maybe Cam Newton should be there. I really feel that a quarterback that is, you know, new to this league within the first couple years, it shows you how great Sean McVay really is, but it also shows you how good Jared Goff is for being a number 1 pick. Okay, number 1 pick. Carson Wentz was number 2. These are 2 guys that, you know, if I could go back in time and I had Mariota or Jameis, I kind of wish I had Goff or Wentz, because these guys are better quarterbacks. You know, they're guys that stay in the pocket. They're not knuckleheads. They're not stealing W's. They're not stealing crab legs. They don't get injured all the time. I hate to say that for Mariota, even though I'm a Duck. You know, it happens. You know, those guys have some faults in their game. Jared Goff and the Goffense, right? No Todd Gurley. I really feel with this year, no problem. Yeah, they have Henderson that they can throw in there. They are the front runner to win the NFC West, right? So don't sleep on Jared Goff and the Goffense. Will they make another Super Bowl this season in the NFC? In my opinion, no. But if they ended up making the NFC Championship game, would I be impressed? Yes. Would I be surprised? No. They have the depth, regardless if Todd Gurley plays or not, and they got the best player in football, not named Patrick Mahomes right now, in Aaron Donald. He can do it all. You want 15 sacks, 18 sacks, 20-plus sacks at D-tackle. He can do it. Do not sleep on Jared Goff or Matt Ryan. Matty Ice. Those are my 2 spots for number 10. I had to cheat. There's so many quarterbacks in the NFL. Who do I pick? I don't know. There's a lot of them, okay? Number 9. Number 9 is a quarterback that everyone roots for, okay? I don't care if you're a fan of this team or not. When it's all said and done, you don't want to say he's the greatest quarterback in this era, right, to be like Dan Marino and not win a fucking Super Bowl. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about, I don't even want to say Los Angeles. I want to say San Diego Chargers, because that's where they belong. I'm talking about Phillip Rivers. Okay, Phillip Rivers is a guy that has one of the arguably best defenses player for player. Derwin James is a beast. Melvin Ingram is a beast. Joey Bosa gets injured, but is a beast. They have plenty of pieces, okay? Offense, they need to get Melvin Gordon taken care of. Keenan Allen was running routes today. I don't know if you guys watched NFL Network or if you watched San Diego, post some things on their website. He looked incredible. He did a little stop and go and burnt the corner for about 10 yards, made a diving catch. I like Keenan Allen. I like Phillip Rivers. I like this team. I think they're one of the teams that can clip the New England Patriots. But we have to wait to see if it's going to happen. I like Phillip Rivers. Come at me if you think that he can't play. He still has a great zip on the ball. He's got like 10 kids. He's got a whole football team he practices with in the backyard. How many of y'all got 10 kids? I doubt any of you. So Phillip Rivers is going to be able to get it done. And they are a contender for the Super Bowl this season. But New England is obviously always going to be the front runner because they have who? Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Number 9, Phillip Rivers. And if he doesn't end up winning a ring when it's all said and done, we still are going to love the hell out of Phillip Rivers. He's still a first ballot Hall of Famer. And think about that. Big Ben has got 2. Eli's got 2. How the hell does Phillip Rivers not even have 1? So let's see if we can get Phillip Rivers a ring at some point before it's all said and done. But don't sleep on Phillip Rivers. Plays in big moments. Decision making is great. He is a winner. They might just need a better head coach than Anthony Lynn. In my personal opinion, he could get it done. But to me, he's kind of like a coordinator playing as head coach. So they might need someone better. But I love, love, love Phillip Rivers. Number 8. Number 8 is a quarterback that has been great for many, many years. Just in fact, he came into the same draft as Phillip Rivers. Okay, they lost fly like a butterfly, sting like AB, and you lost Le'Veon Bell. No problem. You got James the Terminator Kana, right? You end up getting Juju Smith-Schuster, Juju on the beat. Hey. So that they're going to be solid. They got Devin Bush in the draft. He's going to be one of the best linebackers for years to come. I don't think that you're going to have a drop-off with this team, and in my personal opinion, the AFC North belongs to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger. Now, he isn't always doing the right thing at the right time. He sometimes says bonehead things, does bonehead things. But with the organization, he's one of the best pieces Mike Tomlin has had to work with. He is a Hall of Famer. I trust him. I trust the Steelers. I think the Ravens scale back a little bit this season. Cleveland might be able to take their spot for second place in the AFC North. But as far as coaching, drafting, players, everyone they have on that roster, I don't think Pittsburgh's going anywhere. I think they can still win 10 to 11 games, and I assume that they will because of a guy like Ben Roethlisberger. Big Ben at number 8. Come at me. All right, number 7. Number 7 is a guy I wanted to have a lot higher on the list. He's got issues right now. There was issues with his shoulder, his arm, and his neck. We were just kind of making sure that he was okay. He looks like with his legs, they're a little bit out of shape. He's got a little bit of lingering injuries, but he's the type of guy that could have won not only comeback player of the year, but he was a guy that ended up getting second most touchdowns last season behind Patrick Mahomes. And I don't think anybody expected him to play as good as they did, but you got a great GM. You got a great head coach in Frank Reich. You've been drafting excellent with guys like Quentin Nelson to protect him up front. And then you get a guy like Darius Leonard who took the league by storm last season. Who am I talking about at number 7? I'm talking about the Indianapolis Colts. I'm talking about Andrew Luck. Now, for me to have Andrew Luck over Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff, right? Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield. That obviously means that I think that he is going to be a contending Super Bowl quarterback. They can get to an AFC championship game. They are solid. I feel that this team could end up going to an AFC championship game sooner than later. And within the next 6 years, if Andrew Luck wins an MVP and wins a Super Bowl, don't be surprised. I like his moxie. He's intelligent. He works hard. I think he still has a flip phone. That shows you that he's not really worried about social media. He wants to win. He'll do what it takes. He's got a burner in Paris Campbell from Ohio State, T.Y. Hilton. Obviously, you got guys like Eric Ebron that revitalized their careers. The defense is excellent. You got Malik Hooker on the back end. Look for the Colts to take off. I think they're going to win the division this season with an 11-5 record. Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson nipping at their heels, but I like Andrew Luck better, and he is going to be one of those guys that's not going to go anywhere for quite a long time. Number 7, Andrew Luck. Now we're getting to the cream of the crop. Now, number 6 was tough with my number 5. You can interchange either one of these guys. Number 6 is a quarterback that's out here in the Northwest, okay? They call him AKA Dangerous. All right. He can do everything. He can throw the deep ball. He can throw the seam route, the post route, the fade route, the in route, the out route. He can use his legs. He can burn almost anybody that is a corner, a safety. You name it, he can do it. Who am I talking about? Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson is a guy that I feel if you were going to, start a franchise right now and pick a quarterback based off age, potential, what you think that he could do moving forward, Russell Wilson would be one of those guys that would be top 3 in your list. But with Russell Wilson also, you don't have a lot of weapons on defense and offense anymore. But I think the chemistry with Tyler Lockett will be great. You're going to see a lot of big plays between those two. So fantasy football, you might want to grab those guys. They're going to be able to get you points with Russell Wilson, not only in the air, going deep, but with his legs. He's a game manager. And even though they lost Frank Clark, even though they lost Earl Thomas III, and then they obviously lost Doug Baldwin to retirement, look for this team to get second place in the NFC West, and they might be able to make a playoff spot with 9 or 10 wins. Number 6, I have Russell Wilson, one of my favorite quarterbacks from NC State, Wisconsin, Seattle Seahawks, and now and beyond, getting that cheddar. Number 5. So now here comes the cream of the crop. Now, I could have put this quarterback at number 6, and I could swap with Russell Wilson, but I feel that this guy's not getting enough respect. For a while, he was considered top 2 quarterback with Tom Brady, and it's been that way for a long, long time. The defense now is probably the best it's been in 10 years. They got plenty of pieces in the secondary. Devontae Adams is going to take off. He's going to have top 5 stats at the end of the year. I like Aaron Jones. Who? Aaron Jones. Who? Aaron Jones. So I think number 5 deserves to be on the list. I kind of feel ashamed that I don't have him higher. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Mr. Discount Double Check, Aaron Rodgers. Now, he's going to have a great year, but that division, the NFC North, is the hardest to predict. Will Aaron Rodgers play like Aaron Rodgers from a few years back? Will he only make it halfway through the season? Will the weapons take off? Will he have injuries at running back and wide receiver? Will the defense help him out? I don't know. But Minnesota, Chicago, Green Bay should be beating each other up, and you can't even sleep on the Lions because one pride might punch him in the mouth and surprise everyone and win the division. Who knows? But I know Aaron Rodgers will play great. I don't think he's going to get injured this season, and we're going to get back to kind of talking about Aaron Rodgers being a top 5, top 3, possibly even top 2 quarterback in this league. He's got all the throws. It's just a couple other guys have surprised me and gotten a little bit better to me moving forward. Number 5, Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. Number 4. Now, number 4 is a guy that some people will say, how the hell do you have this guy so high? Do you really believe in him? Do you really think he's not going to get injured again? Is he injury prone? Yes. Can he stay injury-free this season? Yes. Is there a lot of haters? Yes. But I don't care if the haters are there. I love this quarterback. When he's healthy, he is a top 5 quarterback. Watch him to return to MVP form. I like this team to make it all the way to the NFC Championship game because they have the depth at O-line, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, all of the above, including the coaching staff and Howie Roseman. Who am I talking about? Number 4, open your ears. Open your eyes. If you're a millennial, you're woke now. Number 4, Carson Wentz. Yeah, I said it. It's not a hot take. I believe in Carson Wentz more than Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, and Baker Mayfield. That says a lot because most people, right, are just going to go off what Colin Cowherd says or Stephen A. Smith says. Skip and Shannon, what they have to say. This is me based off doing the research, right, watching camp, watching everyone play with chemistry together, seeing the chemistry that he has with Djax moving forward. You got Dallas Goedert. You got so bad it hurts Zach Ertz. You got Alshon Jeffrey. You got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside from Stanford at wide receiver. The defense is deep. You got 6 running backs that you can rotate like the new world order, brother. All right, they have even more than when they had the 4 horsemen when they won the Super Bowl. The team is probably deeper than the Super Bowl team. Stop coming at me that Carson Wentz can't stay healthy. I think that they're so good. They're not only going to win the division, the NFC East, at 11-5, they're going to make it to the NFC Championship game. Yes, I said it. The Eagles fly, are going to the NFC Championship game this year. And that's what I truly believe. Come at me if you want, but that's what I believe. Number 3 is a quarterback that got paid today. He had a birthday yesterday. I did a video on him. All right, he is getting old, 42. $23 million in 2019, an $8 million increase, sixth highest paid QB, tied with Drew Brees for the 2019 season, right? Until someone clips this guy off, I have to give him some type of respect. I'm not going to put him up at number one because I think there's a few guys that obviously are better, but he does impress me, even though they are linked to cheating and there's an asterisk by the name. But ultimately, what it comes down to, if you're in the AFC and if Bill Belichick and this quarterback are there, you have to prove it to me that you can clip them off. Who can do that? The Chiefs, the Chargers, right? The Colts, the Steelers, in my opinion, have the best shot. But until they do it, you got to give this guy some respect for his being as old as he is. And Josh McDaniels calling the plays. I got number 3. I got Tom Brady. Plays in big moments. Great decision making. And he's a winner. You know, and if they didn't have guys like Sony Michel or Gronk, you better believe Julian Edelman, they wouldn't have been able to get to the Super Bowl, let alone win the Super Bowl. And also guys like Stephon Gilmore, the best corner in football. So they have a lot of things that people overlook. Top 10 defenses, great stables at running back, great play calling. They have the whole package. And Tom Brady, like I said, going into this season, they are still the front runner to make the Super Bowl in the AFC. I'm kind of sick of him. I'm kind of sick of the team, but we have to give credit where credit's due, regardless if you hate the Patriots, you hate the Cowboys, you got to give credit where credit is due. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number two is a quarterback that I feel is just getting into the point where he feels comfortable with everything that's happened in his career at this point. He's won one Super Bowl already. Let's make it 2. Hell, let's make it 3. He's got AK-41 Alvin Kamara, the alien, because he's out of this world. You got MT-13 Michael Money Thomas at wide receiver, a top 2 wide receiver in this league. The defense is better, right? The coaching is superb with Sean Payton. I like the chances of this team going through heartbreak. The last 2 seasons, Minneapolis Miracle stabbed them in the heart. Last year with the bullshit no-call pass interference with the Rams, they should have went to the Super Bowl, and ultimately they probably would have won, but sometimes you got to lose before you win and feel that pain. It'll bring you together as brothers and as football players in general. So that's why I feel that this guy is the number 2 quarterback going into the season. I feel that he can win MVP, or even better, Super Bowl MVP, the one that matters. I think they're going to make the NFC Championship game. If they end up going and playing the Eagles, who knows how it'll turn out, but I like this team's chances to go to the Super Bowl this year. Who am I talking about? Talking about the New Orleans Saints and Drew freaking Brees at number 2. I think that even though he's 40, we've seen guys that are over 40 like Tom Brady still get it done. Can he throw the deep ball still? Yes, he can. Will he limit his turnovers? Yes, he will. And he's probably the most likable quarterback in the NFL today, and I like the chances with the coaching with Sean Payton, the defense on the back end, and when they get Sheldon Rankins, watch out. This team is going to be dangerous. Not Russell Wilson, but dangerous for the New Orleans Saints. And number one, my favorite quarterback going into 2019 is the guy that more than likely will win the MVP back-to-back years. Will he have more than 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards this season? I think it can happen. I know that's crazy to think. I'm talking about the clone, or AKA Showtime if you want to call him that, but I call him the clone, Patrick the Clone Mahomes at number 1. The Chiefs have gotten everything that they wanted out of Andy Reid except one thing, to get to the Super Bowl. Honestly, it should have been the Chiefs and the Saints last year. Would have got the ratings, and you know what? We'll probably get that matchup this season, I'm hoping, because if we have Chiefs and we have the Saints, that's going to be ratings through the roof. Patrick the Clone Mahomes, I haven't seen a zip on a ball like Brett Favre or Dan Marino in his early times like I have with Mahomes. Sidearm, overarm, 3/4. He can do it all. He can throw with his left hand. He can do a no-look. I mean, the zip that he has and the accuracy he has is amazing. People talk shit about Andy Reid. I love him. I think that they're going to be able to get to the AFC Championship game this season. The defense got better with Honey Badger and Frank Clark. Look for this team and Damian Williams and the excellent play calling by Andy Reid. He has some problems with time management, clock management. Look for those things to improve, and you got plenty of weapons. Tyreek the Freak Hill, Sammy Shaboing Boing Watkins, Travis Kelce, the best tight end in football. You even got guys that no one's talking about, McCole Hardman. You got DeAnthony Thomas. You can plug and play almost anybody on this roster. I like it, and the main thing that's going to make them better is the additions they made with Honey Badger and Frank Clark on defense. And you got my favorite player on the team, Chris Jones. He will dominate. Look for this team to push the ultimate team, the New England Patriots, hopefully out of the running, and then you're just going to have to compete with the Chargers in the division, the Colts, and most likely the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is my top 10 going into the 2019 season with a couple sleepers, couple honorable mentions, and let me go through it one more time. My sleepers are Jimmy G and Kirk Cousins. My honorable mentions are Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton, and Baker Mayfield. Cam Newton's shoulder is a question mark. Deshaun Watson's O-line is a question mark. Baker Mayfield's head coach is a question mark. That's why I couldn't put him up there. And then moving forward, Jared Goff and Matt Ryan are sharing number 10. Both guys could make the playoffs. There's not really any big issues there except Jared Goff, obviously, with Todd Gurley. But with Henderson, the draft pick, I don't think they'll miss a beat, and they'll still win the NFC West. Phillip Rivers, the OG, the guy that just never ages. He's got 10 kids, a whole football team he practices with in the backyard. How could you root against a guy like that? Big Ben Roethlisberger at number 8. Andrew Luck at number 7. Danger Russ at number 6. Russell Wilson. Number 5, Aaron Rodgers at number 5. Number 4, a surprise to a lot of you, but you shouldn't be, Carson Wentz, Mr. Walk It To Him. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 2, Drew freaking Brees from the New Orleans Saints. And number 1, Patrick the Clone Showtime Mahomes. And now you guys have just been writing in the comment section left and right, probably wondering when I'll end. I might have to go up here and scroll quite a ways up, but I want to get through everyone. Oh my God, it's like a booklet here. Let me start at the very top and I'll work my way down. Brian Chafino, hey, Javon Wright, if his Cam's not on the list, I'm suing. Damon P. Aquadio says, Orion, what it do? Let's see here. Chafino says, number 1 again, what's up? Wentz a top 3 quarterback. Tyler Hetzel, I had him at number 4. So that's a lot higher than most people would have. And obviously I had to include Tom Brady in the list. If I excluded him, then obviously I'd have him at a top 3 at that point. It's probably the quarterback that has the most controversy. Everyone likes to talk about Carson Wentz. But like I said, when the Eagles ended up going to the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, right, with the 4 horsemen at running back, I predicted on our channel that they would win and win big. And I'm usually right in Super Bowl predictions and college football championships. I think in the last 15 Super Bowls, I've gotten 13 or 14 right. So I'm usually pretty good about, kind of going in depth with the team. The main reasons that I picked the Eagles to win that year, things had to go perfect. Don't get me wrong, it's the New England Patriots. But they had a better O-line than New England. They had a better D-line, and they had a better running back stable in the 4 horsemen. And if you have that, and you can limit the turnovers, I knew slick Nick Foles would be able to make enough plays. Did I predict Philly? No. But they made enough plays at the end to win. Derek Barnett, Fletcher Cox, and they got away to get the championship for Philadelphia. And sometimes that's what you need to do. The Rams didn't have that. Todd Gurley was injured. The defense played great, but they just didn't have enough at that time. So it is what it is. Carson Wentz, I believe in him. Let's see here. Cut to the chase. He says Nathan Peterman for all the spots most wanted 20. He's trolling. Elliot Evans, what to do, my guy. LJ better be on the list. Lamar Jackson. Well, he's not top 10 yet, but you know what? If he keeps improving his skills, maybe he can climb up the ladder, but it's going to take a couple years. Jordan Rodriguez, I'm a new sub and a Bucks fan, and I love your streams, and I'm going to do Bucks games as well. I'll throw on the Bucks gear for you. I got a lot of jerseys to go through. I'm going to be ordering my Devin White very soon. You hopefully will get one as well. I love defensive guys. Wade Reinard. Aye. What up, boys? Michael Lawler. Jerry the Lawler's son. Just kidding. Javon Wright. Nate Peterman, number 0. Colton Price. Deshaun Watson. Top 10 QB or we riot. Breeze, number 1. Let's see here. Brian Chafino says Lamar, number 1. He says, nothing more exciting than seeing a notification pop up from this channel. Appreciate that. Talking about Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco returning to his elite status, Vic Veer. Well, the thing is that Joe Flacco, in all honesty, is just a Band-Aid for the Denver Broncos. I don't really see him, taking his game to the next level. They might be able to hide some of his, inconsistencies, with who they have. Drew Lock eventually will be the quarterback for that team. It just depends on when they want to put him in. But, either one of those guys may not be the answer moving forward. I don't really have a whole lot of confidence in either one. But if I had to choose one for the time being, at least to start the season, you can go Flacco. But they're not going to go to the playoffs this season, in my opinion. Kansas City and obviously Los Angeles Chargers have way too much depth. Jameis, number 1. Jordan Rodriguez, no, that's not going to happen. You just described Deshaun Watson versus the Cowboys. I did. If he makes the Super Bowl, Browns from worst to first in their division. It's possible. It's definitely possible. You know what I mean? But we have to see how the coaching is going to work out, with Mr. Beer Chugger himself, Baker Mayfield, biting into that can of beer at that Indians game. I do like their potential, and Baker Mayfield gets a lot of flack too, but I think that he's a lot better than people are giving him credit for. And if they ended up winning the division, I would be shocked, but I kind of feel that they may be able to get second place, maybe 10-6, and they can, maybe make the playoffs that way at a 10-6 rate. It's going to be tough. AFC's competitive, but we'll see what happens. I'm rooting for the Browns. The Browns are like the Bucs and a lot of these other teams that are bottom feeders. So you want those bottom feeders to be able to move up. Tim Marcel, that's Wentz all day. Charles Manson, interesting. Thank you, Elliot. Breezes. Jameis is number 33. Michael Lawler, what up? Money G. Jimmy Garoppolo. 49ers are my second favorite team. Elliot Evans, yeah. I mean, they got a lot to look forward to, moving forward. Let's see here. Anybody want to play Draft Champions on PS4, Cooper says. Let's see here. Then you said Dalton and Cook. Let's see here. My second favorite is the Steelers, because without them, I probably wouldn't be into football. I'm not going to bore you with the origin. Well, you can if you want. Chad Kelly, not going to happen. Dak is top 10. Tommy H, he's not. But, there's room for Dak to get into the top 10, but at this point, he is not top 10 in my book. I'm sorry if you're a Cowboys fan. They do need to get him paid, though. He's worth the money. Because, like I said, if you don't have Dak in the starting lineup, you go from a team that could win 10 wins all the way down to a team that probably wins 4 or 5 games. He's very important. Even if you had Zeke back there, who else is going to back up Dak? You're in trouble if you don't have him in the lineup. And that's my personal opinion. 31, 32, 30 in a lot of the categories. Yeah, he's a dual threat with his legs, but as far as accuracy and a gamer in the red zone, he's not that good just yet. But he does win games, but it's not only him, it's Zeke and that elite defense that's really helping him out. Let's see here. Stafford is so bad, please don't ask another question. I don't think Stafford is bad. You better say Will Greer. You're hilarious. Let's see here. Let's see. Stafford is good. He just isn't consistent. That's he's got a lot of fourth quarter comebacks. He hasn't really had a running back until upcoming this season. So obviously with Kerryon Johnson, they might be able to do a little bit more than people expect. But to me, he's not a top 10 quarterback at this point. Baker, the league is better when the Bills are in the Super Bowl. Tell him, John. I keep forgetting Javon changed his picture. My memory is sometimes blurred. Baker Mayfield. If you think Kamara is better than McCaffrey, your opinion doesn't matter to me. Kamara is better than McCaffrey, in my opinion. McCaffrey is great, but all those guys are all jumbled together. Le'Veon Bell, Kamara, McCaffrey, Zeke. You have a bunch of those guys that are just linked together. Saquon Barkley. It just depends on which one that you like. That's big facts. Baker's top 10 in my opinion. He's going to get there. Let's see. My name definitely isn't a stab at Newton. I don't think Stafford is way better, but is better than Cam. I think his accuracy is underrated. As far as a thrower, and a guy that can sit in the pocket, he hasn't had the most weapons. Offensive line hasn't been the greatest. You just got a running back last season, right? The defense usually isn't that great. If you put Matthew Stafford on the Panthers, how many more wins do you get, honestly? As much as you love Cam Newton and he's your guy, right, you probably would get more wins out of Matthew Stafford on the Panthers because they have a better roster than the Lions. Big facts. Think about that for a second. The Lions are the most forgettable team, but you never know. Every 5 to 6 years they go to the playoffs in the NFC North. It can happen. Let's see. Stafford's throwing arm is underrated. Let's see here. Cam isn't consistent, and that's why he's not a top 10 quarterback. True. Sometimes Cam is great, and, he can get you 5 touchdowns and 1 pick and get a touchdown on the ground or 3 touchdowns in the air, 2 on the ground. But then there's times where he'll throw for 4 interceptions and 1 touchdown, and you know what I mean? He makes bad throws. But a lot of times he does that when he's injured too. But, as far as what the Panthers have, you have to stick with your guy, with Cam Newton. Are there guys that are better than Cam? Of course. But you just have to, kind of deal with who you have. They did make a Super Bowl a couple years ago, so they're not that far off, from being a contender going into the season. Let's see here. I hate there are 2 teams in L.A. Yeah, well, obviously with a couple other teams, you got the Raiders. They're going to be going to Vegas and kind of shaking things up. So, there's a lot of teams in California, period. If it would have been my choice, the Rams would have stayed in St. Louis. That would have been better, I think. Obviously there's more money in Los Angeles, more pub, there. But San Diego should have had the Chargers there too. But, obviously the league is greedy and they want that money. Let's see. Phillip is regular season 1B, he says. Tommy H. I don't think Phillip will get one in my opinion. We'll see. It's possible. While Pat and the Chiefs are there, yeah, I agree. Big Ben is top 10. MGJ plays. Yeah, he is. Definitely. Cam Newton, 2019 MVP. Cam over Breeze. Incorrect. Ravens will give the Steelers trouble. I think they will to a certain degree, but you lost C.J. Mosley, and that's my concern. C.J. Mosley is not there anymore. You got, Earl Thomas III, but C.J. was the heart and soul of that defense. You can't rely on T-Sizzle, Haloti Ngata, Ray Lewis like you used to in the years past. It's going to be tough. And if the Browns play good this season, they could jump them in that second place, in the AFC North. It's possible. Let's see here. The Browns are the Steelers' biggest trouble this year. I agree. Let's see here. Yang Yaj, Kirk Cousins number 1. Well, not number 1 on my list, but he could definitely grow and get better. Ravens are better than the Browns, and Steelers, Baltimore will win the North. As much as I love you, Brian Chifino, that's not going to happen. I'm telling you, with the losses of C.J. Mosley, that was really big. It's like losing, a star player like a Warren Sapp or a Derek Brooks, someone that's, has a huge impact on the defense, because I think C.J. Mosley is going to be a Hall of Famer. So if you lose a Hall of Fame player, it's hard to replace that Hall of Fame player, and then you're bringing in another Hall of Fame player at safety, but we don't know if he can stay healthy. Think about it. And then the options that you have at wide receiver, what's going to happen? I like Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson. Big Ben is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson at this point. I like Baker Mayfield as a better quarterback. The only one that you might be able to argue is Lamar's better than Andy Dalton. But when Andy Dalton is rolling and all the guys are healthy, he might even be a better quarterback than Lamar. He's young. He's kind of like a Michael Vick, but he needs to understand on how to stay in the pocket and learn how to throw in the pocket and not just run after his first option is covered. But they have, overall a pretty steady team, and they are well coached with John Harbaugh. So if they ended up winning or getting second place, it's possible. I just like Pittsburgh and Cleveland better this season. The NFL is a year-to-year, season, so things can change from year to year, and that's big facts. Breeze got Super Bowl MVP. That's better. Let's see here. Baltimore isn't number 1 in the AFC North. I like Pittsburgh, and then I like Cleveland, and then I like Baltimore, and then I like the Bengals. That's my personal opinion with no bias. It's easy to go for your team, but sometimes you have to look at the league as a whole, look at the other teams and who they have, and look at the depth that they have. You can always ride or die with your teams, but also, too, you have to be a realist. You have to look at, these teams are better, but if some of the guys get injured and you guys overachieve, then maybe it can happen. But, if I'm looking at depth and who they have, the Steelers have got the best team in the AFC North, and then the Browns obviously are right behind them. Pittsburgh obviously has the, solidified coaching with Mike Tomlin, and then with a guy like, Devin Bush coming in, he's going to make a name for himself. This linebacker is going to be like Ryan Shazier. He's going to be all over the place, and that is big facts. Let's see. Randy, we almost beat your team. It was not a good game, by the way. You deserved that win. At the Eagles open practice today? You were. D-Jax looks really good. Sidney Jones improved a lot from UW. Wentz looks amazing. Goddard making big plays. Sproles still has some in the tank. I agree. Like I said, for me to have him at 4, I really believe in him. Moving forward. And I'm jealous. I wish I could go to camp and check those guys out in person. I've seen what D-Jax looks like in camp, on TV, on NFL Network. I see the chemistry. People that are sleeping on the Eagles are going to get punched in the mouth, and they'll find out not only the teams in the NFC East, you're not as good as the Eagles, but they're going to show how good they are against all the other teams. And like I said, they're going to be able to stay right hand in hand with the Saints and the Rams and any other team in the NFC North that wants to battle. I like the Eagles' chances to make the NFC Championship game, as well as a great chance to make the Super Bowl with the Saints. Those are my 2 favorite teams to make it in the NFC, and that's big facts. Let's see here. Let's go down the list. Madden curse, Rip Mahomes, not happening. Cincinnati is trash only because they get their guys injured every year. Let's see. Run CMC is really good, but not up to Alvin's level. They're both great running backs, and that's big facts. Let's see. I got my hat signed by Juju Smith-Schuster and Benny Snell Jr. today. I'm hyped. Oh, MGJ plays. That's awesome, man. Juju is one of my favorite players, even though I'm a Duck guy. Right? Oregon Ducks all the way until I die. USC rivalry with Oregon Ducks is something really special, and Juju Smith-Schuster is one of those guys that I watched very early in college, and he always impressed me. One of my favorite players in the league today, and if I had to pick one up-and-coming wide receiver that I feel that is going to be a superstar, it is Juju Smith-Schuster. Great guy off the field, too. Very likable, kind of like Quinnen Williams for the Jets. Certain guys have the personality. and then you're just going to root for him. And obviously Juju Smith-Schuster is one of those guys in my opinion. Let's see here. Let's go down the list. Aaron Rodgers is the most overrated athlete of all time. I disagree, Elliot Evans. He's proven that he is one of the most accurate, athletic gamers, that can make great decisions and is a plain winner, first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's not just because of the discount double check. Tommy H. Dak is top three. Top three. Elliot Evans top 20. That's more like it. I don't even know if I have Dak in my top 15, and that's big facts. AK, how is a hat signed by Juju not worth anything? Oh, of course it is. Especially if he's your favorite player. I'd love to have a Juju Smith-Schuster hat, even if it was Steelers. I'd love that. Or USC. I would definitely have that in my collection. The hat is ruined now with those signatures. Boo. Luis Calderon. Patrick Mahomes 1. Drew Brees 2. 3. Tom Brady. That's what I feel. Juju is not ass. You're stupid to think of a circus signature ruins the hat. So many trolls in the room tonight. It must be just that Sunday night vibe with everyone's going back to work or, getting ready for NFL Network tomorrow. Let's see here. I forgot. Cowboy fans have no IQ. Damon P. Aquadio. He said Dak over Wentz. No. Wentz is much better, and it's not even close. Wheelchair Wentz. You can say that, but the thing is when you say things like that, you're going to find out how great they are, and you still don't have your boy Zeke in the building yet. It's not a good look. And you're going to have to pay Dak. And you're going to have to pay, all the rest. The wide receiver, Amari Cooper. Then down the road with all the rest of the guys, you got DeMarcus Lawrence taken care of. But what about Jalen Smith, Byron Jones, Van Der Esch in a couple years? That's a cap hell moving forward. You got a lot of great players, but the team is not better than the Eagles. And that's with depth and no bias. It's just big facts. Let's see. Cam Newton, 2019 MVP. Zeke, Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, Kamara, Le'Veon Bell. So you can interchange literally all of those guys in any position, depending on how you feel. But like I said, some guys are better at receiving the ball than others. And even in that list, most people that watch like ESPN, or Skip and Shannon, they're going to say that same list. Zeke, Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, or Kamara, or they'll switch those four around. Why is Le'Veon Bell 5 in everyone's opinion? Why isn't Le'Veon Bell number 1? You know what I mean? He's one of those guys, he sat out, but he could win the rushing title this year. You know what I mean? People are sleeping on it. Do you remember how good Le'Veon Bell was with Todd Gurley? I mean, these guys are solid running backs, the most patient running back in the NFL. And if he ends up leading the league in rushing this season, don't be surprised. I mean, he's not to me. I mean, all those guys in the top 5 are great, and they're all interchangeable. But I think Le'Veon's kind of getting a little disrespected. We'll see where it goes. Dak is a glorified Alex Smith. I think even Alex Smith is better than Dak when Alex Smith is healthy. No disrespect to Dak, but Alex Smith was better in the red zone. You know what I mean? It's about being productive in the red zone. It's really important. Drew Brees, Jesus. Drew Brees is a top 8 quarterback of all time. You could argue that he's a top 5 quarterback of all time. But if he wins another Super Bowl, you could argue he's top 4, top 3 all time. That's big facts. Let's see. If Nathan is not number 1, I'll be mad. Nathan Peterman. I did see a trolling video of Johnny Football at number 1, and I was going to react to it, but I do like Johnny Football a lot more than most people, and I'd rather do a compilation of Johnny Football highlights when he was at Texas A&M instead of someone talking shit and trolling on him. He was the most exciting player in college football in those years. It's just kind of sad that, addiction and partying kind of took over his life. But, I mean, what a great player that he could have been to add to the NFL as a whole. I mean, if we could have another guy like Johnny Football, if he could have stayed clean, what an exciting player in college football. I can't do a trolling video on him. I like him too much. I mean, I would rock a Johnny Football jersey, a Johnny Manziel, Texas A&M. I know that sounds crazy to some people, but when I watched him in college, I mean, that was must-see TV. And, sometimes people won't give other people second chances. Nobody's perfect. You don't understand what people are going through if they have addiction to pills or drugs or drinking. You don't know what they're going through family-wise. It's easy to talk smack when you don't know everything that's going on and you're not in his shoes. But that's one guy I always root for, Johnny Football. He may not ever make the league ever again, but, he's one of those guys that, he was definitely entertaining. I mean, when he beat Alabama, that was one of the funnest games that I've ever watched, period, in college football. No one gave them a chance, and he found a way. Go back and watch Johnny Football highlights at Texas A&M, him and Mike Evans, my guy, on the Bucks. Amazing stuff. Madden curse has been proven, but not every Madden cover guy gets injured, and we haven't seen anybody like Patrick Mahomes in a long, long time. Let's see here. When it doesn't affect the player, it affects the team, but Mahomes isn't falling off the list like that. Mahomes is amazing, and that's big facts. I don't see him going anywhere. Let's see here. Sixing. Ooh, Ryan said it. Let's go. Kamara is better than Run CMC. Run CMC is great, but the thing about this is, when Cam got injured with his shoulder, right, Run CMC's stats got inflated because Cam couldn't throw it downfield. So if you're throwing screen passes more than not, and then you have, obviously, a running back like, Alvin Kamara, AK-41, splitting time with Mark Ingram. Of course his stats are going to be better. Cam is hurt. He's throwing checkdowns left and right. Go look at Run CMC's highlight package, towards the last end of the year, last 7 games. Of course he's getting a lot of the stats there. But that wasn't because that they wanted to go to Run CMC or they felt that he was the best running back or the best option. They didn't have another option because he couldn't throw it downfield to DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. Think about it. Watch the tape. If you're a Panthers fan, you should have known that. I'm a Bucks fan, and I know that. That's big facts, right? But Run CMC is an amazing talent. I love him. I watched him at Stanford. He's one of the best all-around running backs in this league. If he ends up leading the league in rushing one day, I wouldn't be surprised. He's a guy that can catch the ball really well outside the backfield. And if he has great seasons moving forward, he can single-handedly, him and Luke Kuechly, help that team get to the playoffs. It's just there was a lot of competition in the NFC, and that's big facts. King Krusty, Russell Wilson is underrated. I feel like he's top 4. He's up there. Like I said, it just depends on preference. I mean, really, you could interchange 4, 5, 6 in almost anybody's book. It's just, how I feel. Who is Orion and what did he say? Well, obviously, you're new to the channel if you don't know who I am. I'm the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors, all right? I don't make things up. I don't do hot takes, all right? You just get the truth here. Let's see here. The YouTuber on the screen, he said Kamara is better. I would take his word since he's studied this tape for hours upon hours. Studies. I study tape. I study tape longer than anybody else out there. I read 6 hours a day. I watch every team. I go to every team's website. Obviously, with the subscribers that we have, obviously it's not by mistake and the views that we have. All right. If you want an expert, you got one right here. I watch more McCaffrey than anyone else here, even him. I doubt it. You don't. Because if you think that Run CMC is better than Alvin Kamara, that proves to me that you don't. You're just a homer of your team. That's big facts. Drew Brees to Jared Cook is looking very nice in training camp. He is. I watched a lot of tape. The chemistry's there. You're going to have Michael Thomas as the first option. After that, you're going to have Jared Cook. And then Kamara will be the third option. There's going to be plenty of looks for that team to move forward. And then we'll have to see what, Lattimore as well, moving forward. He's going to take a step, I feel, and he had the 5 picks the first year, and then he had 2 last year, so I think he can get back to 5, 6, 7. It's going to be exciting moving forward. That division, the NFC South, is just going to be, fighting, crawling, scrapping for wins. A lot of people beating each other up. Top 5 QBs from the AFC and the NFC. Ken Crawley impresses me too. He does for me as well. Kind of a lower name guy. Mr. Nguyen, what it do, bro? Good to see that you're in here. Let's see here. John Roberts. This guy's really excited, and he had no idea what he's doing here. I know, right? I'm just excited once the moment happens, especially when he talks about the injury in San Diego and transferred to Nolans. So I finally caught up to the chat. So I think everyone is a normal regular, here in the chat, except for Cam Newton, 2019 MVP. But that's all right. If you don't know who Orion is, you don't know who the Northwest Sports Fanatics is, that's okay. He can be a newbie, It's okay. I used to be an amateur one day. Not. Professional. Don't forget it. Best of the best of the best, sir. With honors, John Roberts, Bills Mafia. Russell Wilson will win the MVP in the next few years. To be honest, I'm not sure if he can. You know what I mean? He himself can do it, with his skill set. But I think that the team has to end up ultimately with a lot of wins. You're going to have to win the division. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get back to that point. They had their run of 4 to 5 years where they were great, right? But the Legion of Boom isn't there. Marshawn Lynch isn't there. Earl Thomas III isn't there. Frank Clark isn't there. Jaron Reed got suspended. I mean, you're really, really thin. Really thin. Chris Carson's great, right? But Mike Davis isn't there anymore. He's on the Bears, right? So, you only have limited depth. You got Tyler Lockett, but, is DK Metcalf going to be able to make up for it? We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be one of those things that, it's possible he can get MVP again, but I think that the MVP, maybe window is passed. But, I mean, he's young enough where it could happen again, but they had to really build that roster with Pete Carroll. Thoughts on Taysom Hill? I love him. There's copycat, teams already, going over, what he can do. I feel that, you're going to get a lot of different, teams that are going to try to replicate what you can do with Taysom Hill. But let's be honest, there's only one Taysom Hill on the Nolans Saints, and others aren't going to be able to do that. So we'll have to go over that as we, move forward. Let's see. Elliot Evans, the GOAT, Dak, top 5. Oh, man, you guys are just going to make me laugh. The season is going to be interesting. Aaron Mitchell, up-and-coming team to take the league by storm, not named the Browns. An up-and-coming team to take the league by storm, not named the Browns. That's a good one. If I had to say a team in the next couple years, what about the San Francisco 49ers? I like what they're doing. They're starting to build a mini Atlanta Falcon team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers could be one, if they end up getting a better quarterback, get rid of Jameis, get some better running backs, get a better O-line and a better secondary, and they could be a team that could be competing with the Panthers and the Falcons, week in and week out. Maybe not the Saints, but, they could compete with them. But I really like the San Francisco 49ers. In a couple years, they are going to be towards the top of the division. They may not be the top over the Rams right away, but they'll be competing with Seattle. And at some point, they'll surpass Seattle, and then they'll be able to kind of move forward. I like what they're building over there. And Kyle Shanahan is one of the brightest minds in football that not a lot of people are giving the respect to, and that's my personal opinion. But that's one of the teams that I feel that can make a jump, the San Francisco 49ers. He would know. Another team, I like the Jets. Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell, Jamal Adams, C.J. Mosley, Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams, I don't know if you guys saw him on, when they did the interview. They said, hey, what do you like about your Madden rating? He said, I'm going to go home and I'm going to play with myself. And he said, that came out wrong. Hilarious. Have you seen Quinnen Williams on TV when he signs an autograph for fans? I think for me, as far as personality and a guy that you can root for, Quinnen Williams might be my number one player that I'm rooting for that's not on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This kid just likes to have fun. He's a really nice guy. He's in with the new. He really vibes with the fans. He's not stuck up. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that I really feel that will dominate the league. One of the highest rated rookies that it's in Madden, but he's one of those guys that him on the front end. Then you got C.J. Mosley in the middle, and then you got obviously Jamal Adams, one of my favorite safeties in the league. Sam Darnold will get better. They need to get better depth on the O-line and at tight end and wide receiver, but with some pieces coming in, Ryan Khalil and whatnot, it's looking nice. It's looking nice. The Jets are one of those teams as well. We'll have to see where it goes. So I watched your videos reacting to Panthers games, and that's why I subscribe, but I don't know your name particularly, but I do know Northwest Sports Fanatics. But in every video that we do, we introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Marcus. I'm Orion. Together, we're the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video! So you never watched the intro to any of our videos? You should know my name, big dog. That's disrespectful. We're on friendship probation in the room now. Cam Newton, 2019 MVP. That's disrespectful. I'm ashamed. Should know my name. Big facts. Everyone knows who I am. His name is right on some of those on those letters. Thoughts on Emmanuel Butler? Interesting. Potential. If I had to say one word, potential. Cam is the best quarterback named Cam, but maybe not the best Cam in the league, right? Cam Newton or Cameron Jordan, better, or Cameron Hayward, better? It's up for debate. Cam is the third best Cam in the league. Most likely. But yeah, this league is going to be something I'm really excited for this season because, like I said, with Gronk being out of the league, it really does give hope to a lot of teams, even though Brady's getting a little bit older. But it's just we have to wait for him to get clipped before we can really, move forward with that. Has the list happened yet? It has. Since I've been on the stream here for about an hour, but I'm going to redo it for you, Jeremiah, so you can obviously, get into the mix and I can go over my pieces and, you can have people complain or go over theirs. Is Brady ever going to retire, Mr. Nguyen? Who knows? He's on that TB12, so it's some kind of diet of cereal, berries, and steroids or PEDs. I don't know. I think, Roger Goodell is in on it with him too, and then you can go get a Robert Kraft massage special. Then that will make you obviously a little bit more laid back, and nobody gets in trouble, and you win Super Bowls. That's the bottom line because O-Dog said so. So sleepers, NFL top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2019 season named by me, Orion. That's my name. Northwest Sports Fanatics, one half of All right. Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins. Those are my sleepers for the 49ers and the Vikings. They could win more games this season. The Vikings could win the division. I just don't know what's going to happen moving forward. And obviously with Jimmy G's leg, usually it's year 2 after an ACL tear is when you really start to take off. So it may not be this season, but the following year, I think, you'll be able to get a lot of pieces in place. We saw Kittle, what he could do, and the defense, I think, will take the next layer and next step. Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo are sleepers, but they could wake up. As the millennials say, they be woke. Honorable mentions. I have Deshaun Watson, but the thing that concerns me is the O-line. You got DeAndre Hopkins, the best wide receiver in the league, right? You got Will Fuller, who seems like he scores a touchdown every time he plays, but he just gets hurt every freaking year. J.J. Watt, Clowney still isn't in camp. We need to figure that out. He's a guy that could be a top 7 fantasy quarterback, but I just don't know if I think he's top 10 just yet. A couple more years under the belt, you need to prove it to me, but I loved him at Clemson. I loved what he can do. He's a winner, don't get me wrong, but I think he has a little ways to go. Deshaun Watson. Another honorable mention, a lot of these Panther fans in here aren't going to agree, but I have to be real. I mean, there's other quarterbacks that are better. His shoulder is the only thing holding him back from being a top 10 quarterback. I have to see him be healthy for the full season. I watch Panther camp and Panther tape a lot, even though I'm a Bucs fan. I know that's surprising to some of y'all in there, but, that's what I do. Curtis Samuel has been the biggest breakout player in camp. And how the hell would I know that if I don't watch the camp at the Panthers? DJ Moore is starting to take off. I like Brian Burns a lot from Florida State. He's going to make a name for himself. Gerald McCoy up front from my Bucks. Luke Kuechly, the best linebacker, right? That plays middle than Bobby Wagner. I mean, you got a lot of pieces. Riverboat Ron is an amazing coach. It's just Cam Newton's shoulder and throwing motion is a concern. You can't tell me that you think automatically you're going to get past the Falcons and the Saints. And, who knows what the Bucks are going to do if they overachieve. That might be a tough game, going into the season. Cam Newton's shoulder could either get you to 10 wins out of wild card position, or you could slide all the way back and be a 7-9 or 8-8 team. All that's going to separate the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Saints is probably a few games. Think about it. It's very tough. NFC South is one of the toughest divisions in football. Big facts. And if the Bucks do anything, that's going to throw a whole new wrench in the mix because no one's even given the Bucks a chance. I don't even know if I am. And I'm a Bucks fan. I don't know how many wins they're going to get. 5 to 7? That's most likely scenario. 5 at the worst, 7 at the best. But if then something happens with injuries with those top 3 teams, they could maybe get to 9 or 10 wins. It's possible. And my last honorable mention is a guy that I really like, right, that I feel that, could have been in my top 10, right? He knows how to drink beer the best out of any quarterback. He went to an Indians game, right, got a beer, cracked it open with his teeth, shotgunned it, right, had his Lindor jersey on, read the RVD, right, RVD to himself, right, Mr. Baker Mayfield. If you watch Baker Mayfield's tape, I know a lot of people are sleeping on him. They say they're paper champions. Oh, they're overrated. I don't think so. I think that the Cleveland Browns are making the playoffs this season. Are they going to win the division? Possible. But I really think more than likely getting 10-6 and winning, maybe getting a wild card, and the Pittsburgh Steelers going like 11-5. I think that's more realistic. But it could be flip-flopped, and you could have the Browns surprise everyone and go 11-5, and the Steelers go 10-6. But I really like the Browns. Baker Mayfield, to me, is right on the cusp of being a top 10 quarterback. And to be honest, when the stats are all said and done with all the weapons they have, Chubb will break out at running back. He's probably my most breakout running back this season from last year to this year. You got Odell, you got Landry, you got Njoku, right? Now it's up to the defense and the coaching to be able to step up as well. Myles Garrett's great. Denzel Ward is great. What about the coaching? We have to see what Kitchens is going to do. Is he an OC? Is he a coordinator or is he a head coach? Time will tell. But I love Baker Mayfield, and he's going to be a top 10 quarterback for years to come, especially when some of these other guys start retiring. In that draft class, lots of potential. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. Lots of potential with these guys moving forward. Honorable mention, Baker Mayfield. Number 10, I have 2 guys at number 10. It's tough. I could have thrown Baker Mayfield in here, but these guys have a little bit more experience. And I have to go with Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, as my 10-1A, and my 10-1B, Jared Goff, and the Goffens. Sean McVay is one of the brightest minds in football. You got to see where they were before Sean McVay and where they are now. It's a big difference. He lives up to the billing at the number one pick. Sometimes he's inconsistent. A lot of quarterbacks are when they're in their first couple years. But with him and Carson Wentz, I feel they're the future of the league. And even if Todd Gurley is injured throughout the whole season, Henderson, the running back that they got in the draft, will be able to hold it down. They have plenty of pieces like Cooper Kupp coming back. And you got the best player in the league, not named Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Donald. They have a nice team. They're going to win the NFC West by default. And I think they're going to win anywhere between 10 and 12 games. More than likely, it'll be around 11 or so, I feel, in that division. Jared Goff and the Goffense coming back with best friend, Cooper Kupp, and Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, dominating with Devontae Freeman. Calvin Ridley will dominate. Julio Jones. They got lots of pieces, but the key will be their defense. Deion Jones, Keanu O'Neal, Vic Beasley. They need big production, and they need these guys healthy if they want to compete with the Panthers and the Saints moving forward in the NFC South. And that's big facts. But Matt Ryan did have a quiet MVP season last year. He gets slept on a lot. I love Matty Ice. I love Matt Ryan. I think he's a Hall of Fame player, regardless if he wins a Super Bowl or not. I love Matt Ryan. And Jared Goff is moving up on the list. Number 9. Number 9 is a quarterback that everyone roots for. He might be the quarterback when it's all said and done, the best quarterback in this generation not to win a Super Bowl, not named Dan Marino. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Chargers' Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has a chance. New England needs to get clipped. There's only a few teams that can do it. The Chargers, the Chiefs, the Steelers, and the Colts. I don't think anyone else really has a chance. The Browns may make the playoffs, but I just don't think that they have enough depth to beat New England just yet. But those other teams, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Colts, and the Steelers do. But it's just a matter of they can outcoach Belichick, and most people can't. But I love Phillip Rivers, and regardless if he wins a Super Bowl or not, he still is a gunslinger. Keenan Allen is arguably the most underrated wide receiver in the whole entire NFL, period. I love Keenan Allen. I love Phillip Rivers. We just need to get Melvin Gordon in camp. If they get Melvin Gordon on the team and don't trade him, they have a chance to make an AFC Championship game and possible Super Bowl. If Melvin Gordon is not on the team and they trade him away, they will not go to the AFC Championship game. That is big facts. Number 8. Number 8 is a guy that's been doing it for years. He just lost. Fly like a butterfly, sting like AB, Ben Roethlisberger. You also don't have Le'Veon Bell. Still, I feel Ben Roethlisberger is one of the best quarterbacks, and he has been for a long, long time. Him and James Conner have good chemistry. Ben and Juju Smith-Schuster have great chemistry. They will be able to win a lot of games. Vance McDonald, they got a great defense. It's getting better and better. The O-line is one of the best in the league, right? So the Steelers sometimes have holes on defense, right? And sometimes they look bad. But overall, with Devin Bush coming in, I think he's going to be able to kind of plug up some of those holes that when Ryan Shazier was there, he ended up being the leader on the defense. And so it wasn't like, okay, Big Ben and this offense and the Steelers defense is average. I think we're going to start getting back to the point where the Steeler defense is getting closer to that offense. And Devin Bush from Michigan is going to be a big reason why. Ben Roethlisberger, number 8. Number 7 is a quarterback that could got comeback player of the year honors. He's the type of guy that no one thought that could get second in touchdowns at the end of the season behind Patrick Mahomes. I love the talent of this player. He's smart, intelligent, has a flip phone still. He knows how to win. He can make all the throws. The GM, the head coach, and Frank Reich, they got plenty of weapons like Paris Campbell moving forward as their deep burner threat. They got Marlon Mack. They got T.Y. Hilton. You got Quentin Nelson, a Hall of Fame player up front already. You got Darius Leonard, Malik Hooker on the back end. I'm talking about number 7, Andrew Luck. I like Andrew Luck a lot. Better than Ben, Phillip, Matt Ryan, and Jared Goff. I think that they have a great chance to get to an AFC Championship game this season. And within the next 5 or 6 years, I think that they can make a Super Bowl. And if Andrew Luck ends up winning an MVP, don't be surprised. The only thing that will hold Andrew Luck back is Andrew Luck himself with the injuries. Number 6. Number 6, you could swap with number 5. They're interchangeable. He's in the Northwest. He's with Sierra. All right? He knows football. He goes to Super Bowls. He's a dual threat, arguably the best dual threat in the league when healthy. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Dangerous Russell Wilson. He's a guy that can win an MVP, but the team is thin now. No Frank Clark, no Earl Thomas III, no Doug Baldwin. That means that him and Tyler Lockett have to be the 1-2 combination that dominates in the league for that team. If they slip up at all, the San Francisco 49ers will be second place in the NFC West. That's big facts. So they need to make sure that Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson get it done. But it seems like Russell Wilson, by himself, single-handedly, can get them almost to 9 wins every season. It's just a matter of the defense can stop anybody this season. That is yet to be seen.
we'll have to kind of wait and see if that's possible. Number 6, one of my favorite quarterbacks in this entire league, Northwest, great, Russell Wilson. Number 5 is a quarterback that people sleep on, say that he doesn't got it anymore just because he's had a couple seasons as of late being injured. But I still love this guy, Mr. Discount Double Check. They got a great defense on the back end, the best they've had in probably 5 to 10 years, right? Clay Matthews is no longer on the team. Mike Daniels is no longer on the team, but they have a lot of depth on the offense and defense. I love Devontae Adams. I'm talking about Mr. Discount Double Check himself, Aaron Rodgers. Don't sleep on Aaron Rodgers. He could get that team to the playoffs. It's going to be tough. Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, Detroit. Who's going to win it in the NFC North? Who the hell knows? But if Aaron Rodgers ends up being Aaron Rodgers from a couple years back, right, that'll be the reason why they make the playoffs and win the division. Big facts. Aaron Rodgers at number 5. Number 4 is going to be the single most surprising player at this position, unless you are an Eagle fan or you're someone like me that looks at tape of every single team, every single roster, breaks down every single player, every coach, every backup, and recognizes the depth that this team has. I am not sold on the fact that Carson Wentz, Mr. Walk It To Him, is going to be injured. I think he's going to make it throughout the whole season. And I like the chances of this team going to the NFC Championship game or even a Super Bowl. I'm talking about Mr. Walk It To Him at number 4, Carson Wentz. Some people are saying, Carson Wentz over Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Luck, Roethlisberger, Rivers, Ryan, Goff, Cousins, Garoppolo, Newton, Watson, Mayfield? Yeah, I do. I love this team. They got the depth. Great O-line, 6 running backs deep, great wide receivers, double tight end set. Dallas Goedert, and so bad it hurt Zach Ertz. A great defense in Fletcher Cox. Malcolm Jenkins on the back end. Derek Barnett coming back from injury. They got a lot of pieces. They're going to win the NFC East at 11-5, and I like this team a lot moving forward. I don't care what anyone says. All these people that are on national TV and podcasts don't know shit, okay? Is it possible that Carson Wentz goes down with an injury? Yeah. But a lot of them are just rooting for him to go down, and I'm not. I'm rooting for greatness. And when he was in MVP form, he was going to win the MVP a couple years ago. Nick Foles took the alley-oop, ran with it, and then they ended up winning the Super Bowl because they had the what? The most complete team. Football is a team sport. Remember that. Carson Wentz, I love him. And if they go deep this season, you heard it here first. Big facts. Number 3, I got Tom Brady. All right? Tom Brady, $23 million in 2019, an $8 million increase. 6th highest paid QB in 2019. He got paid today, tied with Drew Brees. Obviously, my criteria is play in big moments, decision-making, and just being a damn winner. So it's not just, having favorites. I'm a Buccaneer fan, so I'm looking at it from an outside perspective in. Kurt Warner put out a list that I did not agree with, so I'm doing my own. With the tape that I watch and all the articles that I read, Tom Brady's one of those guys you can't discredit because as long as he's playing with Belichick, they're the favored team in the AFC. And then once they're gone, then there'll be some room for other teams to move up. Tom Brady is a guy that no one believed that they could win, but when they went into that Super Bowl, I knew they were going to beat the Rams, not just because of just Todd Gurley. With the play calling and with Belichick and Gilmore, having the best corner, the best play caller at that point, and, obviously, and Josh McDaniels, they had enough to get it done. And the defense, you got to think, it's one thing for the Rams defense, to hold a team under 20. How many people really think that the Patriots defense is good from year to year? If you look at Tom Brady and the Patriots, out of 19 seasons, they've had 14 top 10 defenses. That's why you keep going to the Super Bowl, 9 times and you win, 6. Defense, running game, Sony Michel, great play calling. It's big facts. Okay, number 2 is my favorite quarterback in the league today, besides Patrick Mahomes. This guy is a guy that's had heartbreak for the last couple seasons. It's hurt. Minneapolis Miracle. That shit hurt, right? The non-pass interference call. I'm a Bucs fan, and that shit hurt. It was hard to watch. And then the Super Bowl, it's like sports karma. I knew the Rams weren't going to win. They didn't deserve to win after that. It should have been the Saints and the Chiefs. That's my opinion. The ratings would have been better too, right? The league isn't rigged. Some people think it is, but I don't. But very questionable calls, and things are going to change this season. But the guy that has the most heart, the best 6-foot quarterback ever to put on cleats, not named Russell Wilson, right? Not named Doug Flutie. It's Drew freaking Brees. The most motivated team, the team that's had the most heartache, the most pain. They are the most motivated, hungry team. The Eagles are hungry, but they got their championship a couple years ago. Patriots are always hungry, but they won it last year. So they're going to be, wanting it, but there's going to be teams that want it more. And in my opinion, the Nolens Saints are the hungriest team. And when you're hungry and you've gone through some heartache and loss, it's going to bring you tighter and together as brothers and as a football team. And if I had to pick one team that's going to make the NFC Championship game for sure, it's the Nolens Saints. And I think Drew Brees can win MVP, Super Bowl MVP, one or the other, more than likely Super Bowl MVP, right? And I think that they're going to end up going to the big dance. That's how much I love them, okay? Who dat? Nolens Saints. I'm a Bucs fan. Think about that for a second. Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, AK-41, the Alien, Michael, Money, MT-13 Thomas, top 2 wide receiver in the league. You got Jared Cook. You got plenty of pieces. Marshawn Lattimore. Sheldon Rankins will come back from his injury. He should be nice. Cameron Jordan, the most underrated player in the league on defense. Big facts. Something special is going to happen in Nolens. That should have happened last year and the year before. They could have went to the Super Bowl in that Minneapolis Miracle year and won. They could have went last year and won. Drew Brees is 40. I don't care. They're winners. They're going to get it. Drew Brees' legacy. It's big. And then if he wins, I hope he doesn't walk off in the sunset. I hope that he comes back and tries to win it again. Yeah, and I'm a Bucs fan, and I said it. That's how much I love Drew Brees. Big facts. Drew Brees, number 2, Nolens Saints. And then number 1, my favorite quarterback to win the MVP award back-to-back. The only guy to do that in recent history, Peyton Manning. He did it twice, in his little tenure. Did anyone really think 200 yards instead of 5,000 and some change? And if he throws for 52 or 53 touchdowns instead of 50, it sounds crazy, but this quarterback is that damn good. And the team is better this season. Full year with Damian Williams starting at running back, right? You got Tyreek the Freak Hill not suspended, Travis Kelce, Cole Hardman, right? DeAnthony Thomas, if he gives you anything, plug and play. Shaboing Boing, Sammy Watkins, right? And you got a nice defense on the back end. Chris Jones, Frank Clark. Those two on the front end on a defense might be the 2 best players up front as a tandem, a duo in the league. That's how good they are. And then you got Honey Badger on the back end, the ball hawk. Are you kidding me? This team is legit. Patrick, the clone, Showtime, Mahomes. I love Patrick Mahomes so much and Drew Brees. Those are 2 guys that I would go buy jerseys of, and just throw them in my closet and stash them, and then they'll end up being a throwback down the road. That's how much I love these quarterbacks. And I'm a Bucs fan. And obviously I can't walk around as a Bucs fan with a Drew Brees jersey, because that's kind of one of those things that, people will call out, right? But, you can have favorite players. It's like NBA or baseball, but it's like I love Mike Trout, but I'm a Mariners fan, so I can't wear his jersey, but I respect the hell out of him. Would I take him on the Mariners in a heartbeat? You better believe it, I'm a Blazers fan. My favorite player that's not on the Blazers is Draymond Green because he's the heart and soul of that team. Anyone could say Steph Curry and Klay Thompson or Durant, but I know what it takes to win championships. You got to have those guys, those glue guys, those guys that fight, that have the energy, the swag, the grit, You need those guys. Same thing goes for Drew Brees. I'd love to have him on the team. I love him. Patrick Mahomes is just a freaking talent. I've never seen anything like him. He's like Brett Favre with Tony Romo and Dan Marino all in one body. That's why we call him the clone. He's a mixture of the all greats in one guy. Amazing talent. He's not going to flop. He's not going to go backwards. If anything, I could see the Chiefs making the Super Bowl this year, and that's big facts. So there it is. A recap of the list for anyone that missed it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's see here. Let me go back up and see if I can get caught up. See what kind of trolling comments or if anything that we have here to go over. So let's see here. Lots of comments. You guys have just been typing back and forth. Did I get the new Madden, Anti? No, I did not get the new Madden yet. I've been grinding, watching tape. I've been watching a lot of college football. I've been watching a lot of NFL Network. That's one thing. It's like sometimes I wish I could take some time for myself, but usually I'm busy, either exercising, trying to get in shape, or I'm reading. I read NFL about 5-6 hours a day, and then tape. I watch probably about 5 or 6 hours a day of tape of all the teams and the articles, NFL Network, NFL games in general that I have on my DVR, college football, getting kind of in tune with the rookies. That's how I know so much, is because I'm reading and I'm watching the tape. If I didn't do that, then of course I wouldn't know as much. But one of these days I'll get Madden. I had a couple of my friends, do the mode where you can pick the college team and then you get drafted and then you go and win the Heisman and you get drafted by a team. One of my buddies was the Ducks and then got drafted by John Gruden with the Raiders, and he sent me like little screenshots. So I'm excited. I want to play, but I haven't got it yet. Let's see. I know this isn't football related, but what is your top 5 point guards in the NBA? Oh, man, that's a good question. My top 5 point guards in the NBA. That's tough. Because even though I'm a Blazer fan and, Damian Lillard is like probably one of my favorite players, he's not the best point guard in the NBA. I mean, I can openly say that. He's one of the best. But, gosh, I'd rather have Dame than Russell Westbrook just because I feel he's kind of a headache, on the court. But, let me think about it. Let me see. Who do I feel is the best NBA point guards, top 5? There's a lot. It just depends on who I want to pick. So you got Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Kemba, Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul, John Wall, Damian Lillard. And there's quite a few of them. Steph Curry. All right. So if you got to go through the list, right? Steph Curry, Westbrook, Chris Paul, Kyrie, John Wall, Lillard. There's a lot of them. It just depends on who you like. For me, Steph probably up there. I like him at 1. I love everything that he does. He's an amazing player, right? 2, I probably would go Kyrie because I think he's, him and Durant are going to be able to do big things. He's clutch, just like KD is when he's healthy. He does everything. Great ball handler. He can do it all. Then I'd probably go Dame at 3. And then it's tough after that. I don't really know who I would go after that. With the other players. Russell Westbrook is great. I like Kemba Walker a lot. But Westbrook obviously is a gamer. John Wall, when healthy, is obviously a nice player. He's all around. Because I like defense. I'm a defensive guy. So I like defense. And sometimes some of those guys don't play D. But there's a lot of guys that you obviously can name in that group. But if I had to go 3, just the ones that I like, I'd go Steph 1, Kyrie 2, and then I probably would go Dame 3. But then there's other new guys coming into the league, depending on, how it happens. As far as guards are concerned, I like John Morant a lot, coming into the league. But those would be about my top 3. Probably Steph, and then Kyrie, and then Dame. Those are the ones that I like the best at this point. Let's see. I wish Kuechly was a Saint. Yeah, I think a lot of people wish that Kuechly was. Let's see here. Aaron Mitchell. I'm a Giants fan. I want to see Daniel Jones in the preseason, see what we have at quarterback past Eli. Well, he'll be the future. Just a matter of when they decide to put him in. Let's see here. Trent Murphy, Ed Oliver, Hughes, and they threw in Matt Milano, Edmonds, and Zoe on the line. See, John Roberts, man, it's starting to get nasty out there. Bills Mafia, people are sleeping. You'll wake them up. Let's see here. Let's scroll down. Panthers fan. People sleeping on Cam. Cam and Curtis are having a connection. I've been watching it. I've been watching it in camp. I see it. But I'm concerned about his shoulder. You know what I mean? If he didn't have any injury going into camp, I think that, there'd be more people giving Panthers credit. It's just that, if you're not healthy, and it's like with Todd Gurley, and people are questioning Todd Gurley, and all the Rams fans are getting pissed. Oh, he'll be fine. Well, obviously he wasn't fine. You know what I mean? You have to be a realist. You just can't be a homer on your team. If there's a significant injury, it's going to impact the team. And that's big facts. I like how there's a bunch of Saints, Panthers, and Bucks fan in here, but no Falcons. I'm getting 1969 vibes, Panther fan. Let's see here. And whenever there's a Falcons fan, they only want to talk about their team. Whenever we talk about someone else, they leave. That's not good for the defense then, Panthers fan. Let's see. They didn't play Dante or James. Okay. And Solstice beat. Hey, Jessica, all the way from Alaska. What did it do, my girly? My favorite female besides Christy Rowe, right? Nyland Saints fan. I got Solstice beat. Jessica, all the way from Alaska. Miss ya. Hopefully everything is good in your life. I know you got surgery coming up. Let's see here. Josh Allen and John Brown. That is going to be a nice combination. Cole Beasley, too, for the Bills. They'll be able to step up. Let's see here. Brian Chaffino. Let's see. Legit Shark. What up? What it do? I'm scrolling down. I'm getting caught up. More NFC South fans in this chat than any other. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm a Bucks guy, too. So, I'm a realist, though. You got to think most Bucks fans, or any other fan of any other team would be like, Saints and Falcons and Panthers suck. We're going to go to the Super Bowl or we're going to win the NFC South. At least I'm not like that. I'm real. I call it how I see it. I'm the worst team in the division. I have been for a long time. Haven't been to the playoffs since 2007. Still rooting for them. But I also am a realist, even with 3 brand new coaches, with Arians, Todd Bowles at D coordinator, and Byron Leftwich calling plays. This is the most potential and hope I've had in 10 years. And still they might not be able to get it done because the NFC South is such a great division. Panthers, Falcons, and Saints are amazing teams. You don't hear that from other people. That's why we have 18,000 plus subscribers in this Northwest Sports Fanatics, because we call it how we see it. Let's see here. You still on live? Yeah, of course, man. I mean, I went live a couple days ago and got $200 in donations, 190 from one person. I mean, I'm grinding, man. I'll do 2 videos during the day, 2 to 5, and I'll go on the stream for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, regardless if I get money or not. You know what I mean? I love talking with y'all and, educating you and going through questions. And, we're getting ready for the NFL, and that's the one thing, You're always going to have, delirious fans, homer fans, but when you come here, you'll be humbled a little bit, If I tell you something, you can take it to heart or you can ignore it, but obviously if I have no bias and no favoritism for whatever, whatsoever for any team, obviously I got some truth to what I'm saying. It might not be what you want to hear, but I'm not always right all the time, but a lot of times I can call it. Ho, 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 do I get pleasure out of that? Well, obviously with Falcon fans and Saint fans, there's obviously a big rivalry there. That's big facts. Let's see. Seth Dodd, what it do? For Drew, who dat? Absolutely. If I have to go back over the list, if anyone wants me to go over it again, I can do that. I don't mind doing the show in the beginning, in the middle, at the end. Anyone misses it, I can definitely do that. Let's see here. Clean Senpai, Cam Newton is number 1. Solstice beat. Must be doing something right if I kind of burnt it right now. How many other Saints fans are here? Calling it now, Kamara is going to throw a TD this season. It's possible. I like Alvin Kamara's chances to go for 1,000 or 1,200. Not very many people can actually put up stats like that. But I think that he's one of those guys that it reminds me of a Marshall Faulk or a Roger Craig. Very special athlete, and he's going to have full-time reps. Latavius Murray is going to back it up like Mark Ingram did last season, but I like the chances. I'm finally caught up. Seth Dodd, facts, Orion. I'm all about the facts. John Roberts, I'm real. Bills are going 19-0. Deal with it. I love you, John Roberts. Bills Mafia. My boy John Roberts out in the Northwest. Loving the Bills. I have an appreciation for anyone that roots for a team that's kind of towards the bottom. Everyone can clown and everyone can make fun. But at the end of the day, there's only one Super Bowl winner. But if you root for your team, that's all you can do. So it's a lot better to be a hardcore fan like me and John Roberts, Bills and Bucks for life, instead of hopping on the wagon and all of a sudden just being like a New England fan or a Pittsburgh fan. Do you think that if me and Marcus were, New England fans or, something of that nature, do you think we'd have all these people, as fans? We wouldn't. I'm a Bucks fan. He's a Redskin fan. People respect that. One day we'll be good. But the one thing is you can feel sorry for me or being a Bucks fan, but guess what? I got a Super Bowl. A lot of y'all don't. You know what I mean? Some of y'all got Super Bowl, some of y'all don't. I had a good team for a while. I had a 5-year run, right? 2 NFC championship games, 1 loss, 1 win. Got a Super Bowl, beat the brakes off the Raiders. So that will always be something I can be proud of. Would it be nice to be able to have more than one? Yeah. Would I ever get another one in the future? Probably not. But if they do, it'd be extra sweet for me because you just don't jump ship. That's what you don't do. Let's see here. Bad blood between the Saints and Falcons. That's big facts. Shout out to the Saints fans who struck through the 7 and 9s. Yeah, absolutely. Aaron Brooks era, even before that. You got to look at all the eras that were in there. Michael Pierpont, sorry I'm late. Fly, Eagles, fly. This chat has been interesting, Michael. We got a lot of people griping with each other, arguing. A lot of NFC South, Panthers, Saints, Bucks fans all in the chat. Eagles and Cowboys. You got all the people chatting, arguing. Everyone's got their own opinion. But it's nice, it's somewhere to go. It's like if you go to like Good Morning Football's chat in the morning or go to YouTube and go to a stream, God, you get some dumb NFL fans in there. Sometimes I'm at work and I just want to go in there and just say something, but it's not even worth my time. You just get such homer people in the chats. And sometimes you can't tell if they're trolling or they're not. Sometimes they actually believe the shit that's coming out on the keyboard warrior mode that they're in. It's just crazy to me. But, it is what it is. So, Panthers fan, Marquise Colston or Joe Horn. God, both those guys were nice. If I had to choose one or the other, I'd go Colston. I think that he was very solid, very underrated for years and years. But they were both great. No Raider fans in here? Are you a Randy K, or are you a Raider fan? Are you a Chief fan? Who do you root for? Looks like you're a Chiefs fan or a Niner fan in your little picture there. Looks like you got a red jersey on in your thing there. But yeah, I'm excited, man. This league is going to be something that is going to be very special going in. Like I said, top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2019 season. And my favorite 10 quarterbacks that play in big moments, great decision makers, and do what it takes to win. So that is why I hopped on and wanted to give you guys the list. If you guys have any other questions that you guys want me to fire off, I probably will stay in the chat. It's an hour and a half. Like I said, I did 2 videos earlier today. I did a Justin Herbert, so you guys can kind of see him. And then also I did a Trevor Lawrence. And then I did a Tua last year, or yesterday, his last year highlights, and a Tom Brady. So if you guys have anything else that you want to watch, I got those 4 videos to watch from this weekend. But if you guys don't have anything really that you want to, Chiefs, that's what I figured, Randy K. It was red, so I figured that's what it was. Like I said, a lot of Chiefs fans, Chiefs Kingdom. It's going to be an exciting year. But if you guys have any other questions for me, I can fire those off. Or if you want to ask me about records or anything, NFL related or college football related, I can do that. And then also I'll just quickly go over the list for anyone that just hopped in. So NFL top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2019 season. Sleepers: Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton are my honorable mentions. Jared Goff and Matt Ryan are 10. 1A and 1B. Phillip Rivers at 9. Number 8, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 7, Andrew Luck. Number 6, Russell Wilson. Number 5, Aaron Rodgers. Number 4, Carson Wentz. Yeah, I said it. Carson Wentz. I like him a lot. A lot of people don't understand why I like Carson Wentz. Well, come at me once you look at their full roster and they make the NFC Championship game and maybe even the Super Bowl. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 2, Drew freaking Brees from the New Orleans Saints. And number 1, Patrick the Clone Mahomes. Showtime. Wentz is high on the list, and that's the one, name that, people can sleep on. But I mean, I'm a believer. I'm a believer in Wentz. I think Wentz is better than Jared Goff. I mean, if you're going to go based off those 2 players, if you had Wentz and he could stay healthy, on the Rams, and you had that same Super Bowl run, I mean, you could probably get better stats out of Wentz on the Rams than you would with Goff. I mean, both are nice quarterbacks. But obviously you got to think Doug P is great, right? Sean McVay is considered like a genius brainchild, like Kyle Shanahan in play calling, So obviously he took Jared Goff's game and took it to a whole nother level. But I don't know. I like Wentz better. That's just my personal opinion. Let's see here. Last year's defense was a pretty big improvement. Raiders will surprise y'all if we see that 2016 Derek Carr. But then with AB and his foot, that's not a good look. So, I mean, we don't know what we're going to get with the Raiders going into this season. Seth Dodd, I'm big on Demario Davis. He doesn't get respect he deserves. I agree. He's the glue. He was the glue of the team. One of the best players on that defense. I'm a Bucs fan. I saw it. That's why I nicknamed him the glue. Not a lot of guys get the respect. I mean, Keenan Allen gets disrespected. Cameron Jordan, disrespected. They just don't get enough love like they should. Demario Davis, as far as like a lower name guy in the NFL, not a lot of people know him besides me and a lot of the New Orleans Saints fans. A lot of y'all don't know who that is. Great player. Made a big difference on their roster, having him there. He's the glue. Big facts. Have you seen the video called The Most Versatile Player in the NFL Today? I have not. Let's see here. Michael Pierpont. Are the Cowboys going to re-sign Zeke? Yes. They are going to sign Zeke. They have to. And you're going to pay Dak. You have to. If you want to be able to compete with the Eagles, you're going to have all your guys there. Otherwise, if you have one of the two or none, you're screwed. You got an elite defense, an elite O-line. Why the hell wouldn't you get your guys signed? They got the money, you know. And every once in a while, they'll be able to be better than the Eagles. They'll flip-flop year to year because the NFC East teams never usually win 2 years in a row. They flip-flop. So as long as they keep their roster, you know, it's not saying that, you know, next year the Cowboys could go 11-5 and the Eagles 10-6. They both can make the playoffs. But, you know, they're going to be separated by like a game or two at the most. The talent is there for both of the teams. But I feel the chemistry with the Eagles is on another level, and that's big facts. The shimmy. I missed the shimmy as well. Sheldon Rankins. Big part of that team. When he went down, that definitely hurt the chances of them winning that game last season. Who dat loud? I'm here, Ryan. How you been? We go way back. Who dat? What it do, my guy? Appreciate you. Any of the Who dat fans? Oh, the Nolans Saints fans? I'm big on the Saints. I'm big on the Eagles as a Bucks fan. You know, I like the Chiefs a lot. You know, Chargers, Colts, Pittsburgh. There's only a few teams, you know what I mean? Rams, you could throw in that, you know, picture as well. But, I mean, to me, right now, there's only about 7 teams that I think that can win the Super Bowl. You know? Saints, Eagles, Rams. That's the cream of the crop in the NFC. If any of the other teams make a move or make a name, it's possible. But that's what I like, right? Come at me. And then on the other side, New England by default. And then Kansas City, the Chargers, the Colts, and Pittsburgh. And then, you know, you don't know what Cleveland's going to do. They're not there yet. But they're a team that's on their way. All the rest of the teams, I'm not sure if you got a chance. I mean, it's possible. Because it's like the year the Panthers made the Super Bowl, I didn't think it would be them. The year that the Falcons made the Super Bowl, I didn't think it would be them. Right? But the two things that those two, you know, teams have in common compared to the Bucks and the Saints, when they got there, right? You know, unfortunately, you ran into teams that were a little bit better, right? But it doesn't mean that you can't get there. Again, that's big facts. See here, Goff may as well just walked out to the 50-yard line during the Super Bowl and just dropped a fat deuce out there. Oh, you're funny, John. Michael Lawler, right next Thursday, I think you need to watch the Giants vs. Jets game and stream the debut of the Daniel Jones, the greatest quarterback to ever touch a football. You know what? I'm going to be in Seattle for the Seahawks and the Broncos. I got 4th row seats behind the Bronco bench with my buddy. And then I'm going to the Mariners game for Edgar Martinez bobblehead day the next day. Otherwise, I would stream for both of those games, the first early afternoon and then the late afternoon game. But I'll go live from my phone so you guys can kind of check out the stadium, and I'll go live for the baseball game and the football game. But once I get back, you know, on that weekend, I'll do some streaming on there. If I have to do play-by-play or reactions by myself, depending on Marcus's schedule, I'm grinding. I mean, I'll do as many games as I have to. My goal is to do 3 on Saturday for college football, back to back for 9 hours if I don't die, and then 3 on Sunday. If I have to tape my Bucks game and watch it later on my own time, and if I have good matchups like Eagles or Saints that are on my TV here locally on the West Coast, I'll do 3 games, morning, afternoon, Sunday night football, 9 hours straight. 9 hours, back to back, right? And then Monday night football and Thursday night. No one on YouTube is going to grind harder than me. So that's big fact. So if you guys are willing to come in the chat, you know, enjoy yourself, ask questions, donate, have a fun time, you know, watch the game with me. I'm going to do the most that I can. But yeah, I won't be able to do it, but I'll do a lot more. That's the only kind of game that I'm going to for the time being. I'm going to go to the Bucks in Seattle in November. So I'll be there live, you know, for that game. Going to some Ducks games, obviously, this season as well. But I'm going to try to do as many preseason and regular season games for the NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, World Series, baseball playoffs, my dad's Dodgers. I'm going to do a lot. So it's just a matter of how much time I can cram in, you know, with everything. So I don't like baseball, but I like the Blue Jays. They got some talent. I was watching today the Dodgers and the Padres, and man, what an exciting game. Back and forth. The Dodgers won there with Max Muncy at the end. I told my dad, though, Astros with Greinke and Verlander and Garrett Cole, that's going to be tough. Altuve, Springer, it's going to be the Astros and the Dodgers in the World Series. I just don't know if the Dodgers can win. They have 3 years in a row, 3 losses. You know, Houston, Boston, Houston again. But if they lose, they can go back next year and go there again. But eventually they're going to have to get that World Series ring. I got to do it for my dad. You know, they got to do it. When he went to the hospital and got sick with the stroke, I spend a lot of time with him now. I go to his house almost every weekend. We watch Dodger games together. I need the Dodgers to win for his sports fandom. It's the only team he follows. He watches every game, all 162. One of the most hardcore sport fans for baseball. Obviously, I like football, wrestling, and a few other things more. But baseball is creeping up there. NBA slid down for me for a little bit, but as we move forward, NBA is going to be super exciting in this upcoming season. John Roberts. Seth Dodd, Dad's from New York, so I'm a Yankees fan. Okay. Twins are a sleeper. Yeah, they are. Atlanta, obviously with the Braves. Cubs. There you go. There's some teams. I mean, to me, honestly, the teams right now that have the best chance, right? You got the Dodgers, and I like the Braves. Just at this point, they have the youngest roster of 25 and under that's very up and coming. Cubs already had their run, so I don't think that they'll be able to do it. They might be able to make the playoffs, but I don't think they'll do anything. They don't have the depth like Atlanta or the Dodgers. And then the Phillies and the Nats, they have some potential, but I don't know if they'll be able to put it all together this year. A lot of injuries. And on the flip side, you got the Astros, and then you got, the Twins, Cleveland, Yankees, the Rays, Boston you could throw in there, but I mean, they're just kind of sliding backwards. So I don't know. Brewers are another team, obviously in the National League, but I mean, I think the Dodgers and Astros by far have the deepest rosters. So usually when you see that depth, like we did with the Astros 2 years ago, Boston last year when they were beating the brakes off of everybody, pitching is really what it comes down to in the World Series. If you have great pitching, and a good bullpen, you're going to win. So it happens. Says, are you ignoring my comment? Let me go scroll back up. Let's see here. Who dat loud? Me and Orion went to the same high school, Lake Oswego, but I didn't go to Lake Oswego. I went to Aloha and I went to Canby. So maybe you're mistaking me for somebody else. Possibly. Yeah, but I didn't go to Lake Oswego. Aloha, Canby High School, but no Lake Oswego. The NBA fell off when Kobe retired. John Roberts says, I'm a Jordan guy, you know what I mean? And then when Jordan, in that era, the best basketball players ever, and then when they stepped away, then you had like the Shaq and Kobe, and then now it's like, you have LeBron and KD and some of these Giannis and whatnot, but I don't know, it just seemed like the Warriors were just winning year in and year out. It just got kind of boring for me, and as a Blazer fan, I just didn't really see any time that they were going to get onto a deep run, and they surprised the hell out of me this year and made it to the West Finals, even though they got swept. It was just kind of a nice feeling to see a team like the Blazers get past the first round, not be one and done, and get further. But the West is so deep. Clippers are the best team, right? And then you're going to have a lot of other teams, going for position. Houston with Harden and Westbrook. Denver is a sleeper. Blazers. Utah will be good. Lakers, LeBron and AD and Kuzma. But even though they'll have injuries, even the Warriors will probably be decent, but they'll have to wait for Klay to come back. And then in the East, it's thin. You got the Bucks and Giannis. Sixers will be good with Horford added and Jimmy Butler out with Simmons and Embiid, right? And then other than that, I mean, I really don't know what else you're going to have from the East. There's not a lot of competition out there. Whoever wins the West Finals, that's the real NBA Finals. And then, unless Giannis can take his game to the next level, they might have a chance, but that's the only team I think that has a chance in the East is the Bucks. Other than them, the West is way too deep. They got better rosters overall, and that's my opinion. So, let's scroll up here. But NBA fell off a little bit when Kobe retired. I agree. Some of the star power kind of fell off. And it's just so heavy. It's like in the NBA, if you're not like 3 teams, you have no chance. Sometimes it's just 2. And stuff. But now with all the super teams being broken up and then with KD and Klay getting injured, you're going to get a team that's going to win probably for the first time, which is kind of exciting. So it's going to be somebody new. Who is it going to be? We don't know. But the NBA, I'll do a lot of NBA games. I'll do NBA Blazers and, some of the showcase games. I'll go live. I'll go live for as many things as I have to. And then I'll still upload some videos. And then it just depends on Marcus's schedule. On how many games that he can show up for. But like I said, if I'm, at the house and I'm just watching, TV or doing research or watching games, I'm going to put in the grind and put in the work and hop on instead of not, so I can interact with you guys. Let's see here. I'm a Raptors fan. RIP us. Yeah. If Kawhi stayed, he still would have been able to, maybe go back to back or at least compete, with the Bucks and the Sixers. But now with him gone, I mean, that chance is gone. At least you got the ring when you got it, but they're not going to be, they're not going to be competitive like they were. Marcus is at home. I think that he was at out of town for the weekend. He went to go see Impractical Jokers up in Tacoma. So obviously, it's up to him to be able to, decide on when he can come up, when he's got the time. The equipment used to be at his house. And then since, I decided to move it here, I wanted to be able to put in more videos and more grind. And so that way, if he's gone and if, and I don't have access to the equipment or a key, that at least I can record and do that. That's why I've been doing a little bit more just by myself. It's just that I want to make sure I get content out there and get you guys ready for the NFL as much as I can, as we're going into the season. But I think he just got back from Tacoma probably this afternoon. And like I said, I'll keep grinding and putting out as many videos as I can. And he'll try to come during the week, Monday through Friday as much as he can. But on the days that he can't, I'm still going to grind and put out videos and do streams. So let's see here. Just found out that I can get free tickets to any Giants game because my uncle's best friend is the chief commercial officer of the Giants. Pierpont, awesome. That's sweet, man. I mean, see Saquon, or if you get tickets to go see your Eagles, Giants, hell yeah, that'd be sweet. DeRozan is my favorite player, and that's why I became a Raptors fan. I was sad when he got traded, but at least we got a championship. Yeah, true. I'm glad you brought the green screen back. Yeah, I wanted to do that because I mean, obviously with trying to figure everything, I reconfigured the YouTube, obviously to put the background back there and then some of the layouts of our videos so you guys can see some of the popular vids of the soccer and the rugby that have gotten like 98,000, 85,000, and some of our NFL ones and then the streams. So just make it a little bit more organized for you if you guys are on the computer or on your cell phone. But yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to do as much as I can to get everything going for the upcoming season. Let's see here. Out of curiosity, do you have another job? Of course I do. I work full time. I'm an account manager for Verizon Business. I wake up at 4 a.m. I go to work from 5:45 till 2, talking to business owners in New York and Boston. It's a hard job. Marcus works with me. And then after I'm off, I grind on here, exercise, do some videos, do a stream, then do another stream, and then repeat. So not very many people could do what I do and put in the grind that I do. But, this is the dream, and I love you guys, and, we got to grow. So even if I'm high energy as it is anyways, but, if you want to leave a legacy behind and, make something, you got to be able to do it. Let's see here. But yes, I do have another job. Marcus does too. If we didn't have jobs and we just did this, then we'd even be doing more videos. But I just want to be able to grind and, do as many as I possibly can. Otherwise, I feel like I'm being lazy. Plus, my dad got a stroke and went to the hospital, and it kind of changed my life. So I've been, not partying anymore. I've, decided not to kind of cut back on all that. And, I'm exercising more. I'm grinding on YouTube more, so I'm focused, Sometimes you have a life-changing event that happens to one of your family members, and you got to, change your ways. Life is short. And my ultimate dream is to be able to open up a studio, a YouTube studio here in Beaverton, Nike headquarters, so I can make other people's dreams come true. So that's why I'm grinding. What kind of question is that? Who dat loud? Crazy. Seth Dodd, I appreciate that you put in the grind that you do for us and for you. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you, man. I don't think people really maybe see the grinding 100%. I mean, you can see other YouTubers, be casual about it. But, I mean, to work a full-time job, and do the family thing with my girlfriend and then, having to, just put as much work and time, and you got to think of all the hours that I'm doing research and watching tape, and you know what I mean, because you got to know what you're talking about, you know what I mean, to follow every single team of every single player, of every single coach and every single backup. Not very many people are willing to put in that commitment or effort, you know what I mean. But I love the NFL, I love sports, so I want to leave a legacy behind, but I appreciate that you recognize that I'm putting in the grind. Stancy, keep grinding, man. I feel like the NFL season, you guys are going to blow up. I hope so, 50K. The thing is, something's going on with YouTube, so I don't know if someone's trolling with our account or YouTube has different metrics, but we haven't been getting enough subs. It's been kind of going up and down, up and down. Like we'll get a couple, and then all of a sudden I'll refresh the page and 3 will be gone. So I don't know if someone's just screwing with us or something's going on with YouTube and their metrics, but we're not growing as fast as we should. But like I said, I don't care. I mean, if it takes longer for us to get to 20K or 40K or 50K, 4 million, views from the 2.5 million plus that right now, as long as I have fans that, that appreciate the hard work that I'm putting in, and when Marcus comes through and he does the same, then that's all that matters. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like I'm going to feel any different from 50K to 20K. I'm still going to be the same guy. I'm still going to grind. You know what I mean? And I don't need to have, 10,000 people in the chat, you know what I mean, and get certain amount of donations to feel like I'm making a name for myself. You know what I mean? So it just, if you guys love us and you guys donate or you appreciate what we're doing with the kind words, great. If you don't have money to donate, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like I had a video I did a couple days ago where a guy donated almost $200 just himself. Pretty gracious gesture from Omer, shows you how much that he loves the channel. So, I mean, I appreciate that a lot. Not very many people can have 25 people in a chat and then get $200 in a 2-hour session. Unless they really love you, appreciate you, respect you, There's some people that have 1,000 people in the chat and they get nothing. So it just really depends. I'd rather have people that care about football, that are like us, you know what I mean, that we can vibe and we can, just go throughout the season, somewhere to have fun, Everyone has an opinion. But I appreciate that you guys recognize the grind. Let's see here. Javier Uribe, do you think the Panthers have one of the nastiest defenses on paper? I do. Luke Kuechly, Gerald McCoy, Burns from Florida State. He's solid. I mean, they got a lot of pieces. Lots of pieces. It's just a matter of, like I said, I'm not worried about the defense. You know what I mean? What I'm worried about is Cam Newton. I love Riverboat Ron. I love Run CMC. Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore are going to have breakout years. Hopefully Greg Olsen can stay healthy at tight end. That's a key, but it's just a matter of, being able to have everything fall into place. But I do like the direction the team is going. And like I said, Cam is always going to be a competitive guy. And like I said, they, as they keep drafting year in and year out, if they keep hitting on their draft picks, I mean, it's one of those things that they'll be able to get past the Bucs and the Falcons. But you're still looking up at Big Brother at Drew Brees and the Saints, and maybe the Saints win the championship, and maybe if Drew Brees gets the Super Bowl, the Lombardi, and walks away, then it'll be open again, to see who wins the NFC South. Because with Bridgewater, you're probably not going to win the division with, Cam Newton and Matt Ryan and who knows who all have at quarterback at that point. But, I mean, I like them on paper, yeah. Gerald McCoy added to that roster too. It's nasty. They got a nice little defense on paper. Let's see. Fantasy League announcement. Well, I haven't got everything in line just yet. We may do a money league. We may not. We may just make it just easier for people because it would be hard to probably collect the money. And then we're going to probably do a drawing with people that want to do it when we make the announcement. Then we'll, once we do a drawing, then those people will have 24 hours, to be able to respond back. And then once those people do, then we'll have 10 spots in our 12-man league this season. And then we'll be able to go after it at that point. But, we don't have any announcement just yet because our commissioner is going to have one spot like from last year. Me and Marcus will share a spot, so we'll have 10 spots open. And besides maybe the person that won our league last year, if he, messages me and wants to be in the league this season. But we were going to do like a $50 buy-in, but I think it might be just too difficult trying to collect money from people from all over the country and all over the world unless we have time to do that. But I'll let you know. I'll do an announcement, and then we'll do a drawing to make it fair. So, let's see here. I have to go, Ryan, but when you stream again, I'll be here. Love your commitment to the grind, and I'll continue to support you as long as you do this. Thank you, man, Seth. Appreciate it. Nolans Saints for life. I feel you. Have a good rest of your night. Like I said, I'll be leaving this chat probably here in about 7 minutes. Because like I said, at that point, it's going to be about 2 hours. I still need to go work out, and I got to wake up at like 4 in the morning tomorrow. So let's see here. Who dat, Seth? All-Town Best 88, I'll be at the Texans-Saints game. before I leave, I do want to join the Fantasy Football League. Yeah, I'll end up doing like a drawing at some point to make it fair, and then hopefully we'll see, who responds, and then we'll be able to do that. So. But yeah, I'll make it fair. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of people that are regulars here that would love to be in it, and unless we do 2. But I don't know if our commissioner is going to be able to manage 2. But we'll see. All right, so in the last 6 minutes, I'm just going to recap the list, and then we'll go over that. How's fantasy work? We end up doing a drawing for people that want to do it once we make the announcement video. And then if your email or name gets called, right, then you email me at that point. And then at that point, if you end up getting selected, then you're going to be in a fantasy league that is going to have a cash prize and a merch prize at the end. Maybe a sweatshirt of our logo, T-shirt, maybe $100 prize, something of that nature. It just depends on when we get everything coordinated with our commissioner who works with us as well. So quickly, in the last 5 minutes, I'm going to do a recap of the show today. NFL top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2019 season by me. Not by Colin Cowherd, not by CBS Sports, not by ESPN, not by any of those other channels. This is mine. And the criteria: play in big moments, great as a decision maker, and bottom line, a winner, making the big plays and winning. So my sleepers were Kirk Cousins and Jimmy G. My honorable mentions were Cam Newton because of the shoulder, Deshaun Watson because of that crappy O-line, and Baker Mayfield because of his head coach. But he's the best beer drinker, right? Shotgun beering SOB there is on this planet. I love Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback moving forward for years to come. I love Baker Mayfield. Number 10, I have 2 spots at 10. I cheated. Matt Ryan, 10A, and Jared Goff, 10B, and Jared Goff and the Goffense. And Matt Ryan. I like the teams that they have. They should be able to have a lot of their guys come back from injury. We'll see what Todd Gurley and the Goffense. Matt Ryan should have Keanu Neal back, Deion Jones, Devontae Freeman. Calvin Ridley is amazing. Julio should dominate. Matt Ryan, Jared Goff at 10. Number 9, Phillip Rivers. Number 8, Big Ben Roethlisberger. Number 7, Andrew Luck. Number 6, Russell Wilson. Number 5, Aaron Rodgers. Number 4, yeah, I said it, Carson Wentz. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 2, Drew freaking Brees. Nolans Saints. And number 1, Patrick the Clone Mahomes. Those are my top 10 going into the league. So is there anything else that you guys want to bring up? I got about 3 minutes left before I end the chat. But I will be here tomorrow. Hopefully Marcus will be in here as well. We'll be able to do a video or 2. And then at that point, once we do that, then I'll probably do a live stream. Look for it to be around 7 to 7:30 my time, Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, it'll be probably around 10:30. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. And then, like I said, I'll be there on the next stream. Anything else you guys want to go over? Keyboard warriors, start typing. You got 2 minutes. Ask questions. I'm here. Make it quick. I gotta work out and do some other things here before the night is over. Elliot Evans says, "See you later, my guy." Chafino, see you next stream. I will definitely see you guys on the next stream. Good night, guys. 104 on the East Coast. I know what the commitment you guys on there. So appreciate it. All right. Well, I think I'm just going to call it a night. We're getting close to that. But Michael Pierpont, I'll see you tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great night. 6 Inc., see you later. This was a great chat. Legit Shark, have a good night, my dude. Thank you, man. You guys are the greatest. Thanks for being in the room, Who Dat Nation, and every other NFC South fan that's been in here, and the Eagles, Fly, Eagles, Fly. Like I said, I'll be here tomorrow. And we'll be able to go over a great show. Me and Marcus will have one, and I'll be in the chat again, 7:30 Pacific Coast time. Elliot Evans, what it do, my guy? Have a great night. Have a great Monday. And I got one question to ask you. Who you know talks sports like us? Northwest Sports Fanatics. And I'm out. You guys have a great night. Peace.